Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Friday Coffee Klatsch. Sorry, I have got to turn my ear here. Okay, welcome to the Friday Coffee Klatsch. I am Danny, and I normally host this with my daughter Maya/Artemis. Um, she should be here hopefully in a moment. But this is the live stream, or if you're watching it later on demand, where you can just play us in the background and we keep you company while you do your laundry or mop the floor or what have you, just so you won't be alone in your house. As I say, been saying for the last 3 weeks, we're like the mukbang without the food. Although I just finished having my lunch, I had my breakfast/lunch because I'm kind of an afternoon person more than a morning person. So I had my lean cuisine power, or was it healthy choice? Healthy choice power bowl, garlic chicken. It was very tasty. And now I have my coffee in my trusty mug that one of my children bought me with French vanilla creamer this time. You know, when we're down to the French vanilla, that means it's time to go shopping. But I also have my mug that my hubby got me, which I am now calling my affirmation mug because it reminds me that I am indeed awesome. And I do need that reminder from time to time. And it does keep I have peach tea in here, gold leaf peach tea, which, as we discovered last week, was not made by Southerners because it is not all that sweet, but it's sweet enough. It'll do. Um, so while we're waiting for that child to show up, what else can we talk about? We will just go on down to the shower thoughts because I can talk to you guys about those without her being here. And I see that we have a few comments here. Hello, Ronald. Ronald apparently is dog sitting. I didn't realize that you had to dog sit, but then I'm old school where people just threw dogs in the backyard and let them live their lives. But, people coddle their dogs these days, I guess. Can you tell I'm not an animal person? Um, but while we're waiting for my partner in crime, I want to talk about water talk. In case you haven't heard about water talk, because as we discovered last week, not everybody is on the same sides of the internet. And somebody on a podcast, I know I'm sidetracking, but somebody on a podcast, I was listening to the War Report, and they were talking about how it didn't occur to them until they had a certain conversation that the internet is like one big ballroom, and apparently there are parts of the ballroom that are curtained off because they don't know about parts of there are crazy things on the internet that they have never heard, that they never run across, that never come across to them. And that happens to me all the time. So in case you haven't heard of water talk, let's see, before I get that far, Ronald has friends out of town. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. If the friends are gonna be out of town over the long weekend, then I guess you do have to feed them. Although I thought they had machines for those things, but what do I know? I'm not an animal person. Um, but water talk. Apparently, and I'm going to screw this up royally, but um there are people, there's a video with by a girl online, and I'll link it in the show notes, where she explains all of my thoughts more clearly than I'm about to do. But water talk is apparently there's these different people on TikTok who are doing videos about all the things they add to their water, and everybody is in an uproar about people adding things to their water. And I'm like, my first thought is, why are you in an uproar? people have been I've been doing this for 20 some years. I don't like to drink water. And I know people like, how can you not like water? Blah 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 blah. Maybe it stems from the fact that I grew up in a small town where at some point they put something in the water, some additive in the water at some point, and it tasted nasty. And I never after that, I just have never liked water. Even now that I don't live in that town, I don't get that water anymore. I have never liked water. No matter where I get it from. The only times it has taken me so long to get to this point. The only times I tolerate water are if it is like 90 degrees outside and I have a ton of ice in my cup, then I can pretty much drink water. But other than that, I really don't like plain water. So I've always used those little packets that you can get in the grocery store that say lemonade or whatever, and they have aspartame or whatever. I've been cutting back on those because I feel like if I drink those too often, they make me want to eat chips. So I try not to drink those that often, or I try to water them down. Like, yeah, see, you're one of those people like my husband, where you drink a gallon of room to just the thought of that makes me sick. I feel bloated when I drink a lot of water like that. Even the other thing is, it's not just that I don't like water. Until recently, I wasn't a beverage person at all. Let me go ahead and get my child in here because I think she's at her desk now. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. I can't believe I missed the water rant.
No, we're still talking about it. I just started about it before we move on to life. But yeah, because Ronald is like your father and all these other people who just love to drink the water. I am not a water person. I just
Hello, Ronald.
yeah, I'm not a water person.
Yeah,
So
I also am not a water person. I make myself drink water, and because I make myself drink water, I'm not going through the effort of trying to find ice and all that stuff. I'll drink it like slightly colder than room temp, but a lot of times it is my water bottle was sitting on the counter and I realized, oh snap, I haven't had water in a while, and I'll go to sip on it. And so a lot of times it is room temperature water.
and that's what I've been doing for the past month, I think. I have just been taking my bottle, filling it up at the tap, and just drinking it. Because if ugh. But I don't understand the fuss that people are making about people drinking water.
Are you talking about water talk right now?
Water talk. Yes, I'm talking about water talk.
I think from what I've seen, because I have watched a few YouTube videos, I probably should have put this in the thing, but I haven't watched that many YouTube videos, so
Mhm.
this is not going to be a long conversation.
Well, I
But from
watched 2. One with a woman who was like, "You do you," and
mhm.
I've linked her in our notes, and another from a woman who is more like the prevailing sentiment is like, "Why y'all gotta add all that stuff to your water?"
Yeah, I think the issue is like if it was like a little bit of additive, then people are like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. I think their issue is how much people are adding. Because I've seen some of these videos where they're like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna put in 3 packets of this and like 2 pumps of syrup, and I'm like,
Yeah,
in,
I
in
draw the
my head,
line at
that's
the
gonna be
syrups.
thick. That's gonna be
Exactly. I draw
thick.
the line at the syrups. The syrups to me are meant to go in coffee because we've been using those syrups for coffee for years. Not the
Hmm.
fruity ones. I had never heard of the fruity ones, but like the vanilla cream or whatever.
Hmm.
We use those when we can't get we switched to liquid creamer now. But for years we used the cheap powdered creamer
Hate powdered
and
creamer.
use I don't like it now either because it feels weird. I can make myself get used to it, but I'm spoiled by the liquid creamer. We bought liquid creamer for a few weeks on sale, and now when we go back to the powdered, it's like it takes me 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
to get used to it again. But if we do the powdered creamer, then we do the sugar-free, like hazelnut syrup or something like that.
Hmm.
And really, I put like maybe a teaspoon, maybe 2 in my large, you know, thing of coffee like this. And this is the only cup of coffee I drink today. This is the only cup I'm gonna have today.
Ooh, while we're talking about bevies, your girl can't stay awake because I'm working third shift, so I am having a sun drop.
Sun drop.
Sun drop.
Sun drop. Oh God, you're too young to remember, but sun drop is what rots people's teeth and makes men sterile. That was
Uh,
that
so
was the
is
that
I
was
thought
the
that's what they were saying
rumor.
about Mountain Dew.
No, that's what they said about sun drop when I was in like junior high.
I
But
wish we
anyway,
had.
we're getting off
We
track.
are. We are.
Basically, I'm trying, that's the other thing, you didn't realize I had this agenda, but I'm trying to somewhat keep us on track so that your sister, so let me put the proper banner up here, so that your sister can maybe divide some of these up into chunks since she couldn't figure out any other way to edit these videos.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I missed
So,
it. Did she get one of the videos up?
well, no, because
Oh, okay.
she was looking at the videos and she was like, "Well, you guys don't really do any ums and ahs,
Yeah,
and
we try really
I
hard
don't know
not to have
where."
downtime because you and I are both aware of silences and downtime.
Exactly. So she didn't know how to edit it. So I thought maybe if we tried to cut it in a way that she could, try to stick to the banner,
Hmm.
which is going to be hard.
We'll
Try to
see.
stick to the banner, then maybe she can edit. So we'll see.
And she may just it may just be that she throws up the whole video and there's minimal editing
There's no
because we're
editing.
that entertaining.
We're not that entertaining. Don't be full of yourself. But anyway, I'll put a link to that video on Water Talk. I don't understand why people, because the people I've been hearing, it's not just the syrup. They've been fussing about why do you want to add anything to your water? And I'm like, whoa
See,
now.
that's elitist.
Whoa now.
That's elitist.
That's just like those people who go all organic food and stuff and all of a sudden have the nerve to say, "Oh, McDonald's is disgusting. I just can't eat it
Mm,
anymore because my body has adjusted to only all natural
can't
food now.
handle.
So I can't eat fast food now." Well, then just hand your fast food over here because I will eat it. Okay?
Absolutely.
And I'll be honest, I've been having some issues with different things with my stomach and what have you. But I'm not gonna lie and say McDonald's doesn't taste good.
Yeah, you don't have a bougie
I'm
stomach.
I may not be able to eat it as often as I used to because I don't feel as well or I get full too quickly or whatever. But I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't taste good.
One of my favorite quotes from an episode, it was on an episode of Drawfee, and it was so funny because they were talking about how they're like all like in their 30s now and blah blah blah. And one of them was like, remember when your body physically allowed you to eat hot pockets? And I was just dying.
So crazy. Okay, so so let's talk about life. How are you doing, ma'am?
Let's talk about life, baby. Quick thing that I didn't put in the list, I'm just gonna breeze over. Anybody that's watching for payment gate for that $600, still not there. Just
Oh,
we're working on it. I need to
oh,
call them. Yeah, that's one of the things you and I were having a
oh.
conversation earlier about. Well, third shift, you just need to shift things around so that you don't have to do anything during the day. This is one of those things I have to do during the day because
Yeah,
they close their offices at 4:30 or 4 o'clock.
yeah.
So I got to get up Tuesday because they're closed on the weekends and they're closed on Monday. So I got to get up on Tuesday and try to call her.
Well, that's just a bummer.
Yes.
That's just a bummer. Anything else life related?
Not that I can think of. My life is boring, honestly. My life is boring.
Your life is not boring.
I don't do things. My
Well,
life
see,
is
I
boring.
thought you were going to talk so that I could color, but I guess I'm not going to get to color, am I?
Let's see. Ronald says, I'll be in and out dealing with these dogs. You go deal with them dogs, Ronald. When you get back, tell me what kind of dogs they are. I want to know.
Of course, only you would want to know about what kind of dogs
I
they
am
were.
not the only one. Anyway, stop your coloring. You're the only one that's got life updates today. So fill us in.
I don't have that many life updates.
You've got more than me.
I don't get to color my picture.
Nope. Fill in the people while I'm gathering yarn things.
Okay, they're mutts, but on the terrier side. Terrier-ish.
Oh, so cute.
Terrier-ish.
This is not the bag that I
All
needed.
right. Let me get to the end of this line and then I guess I'll talk.
Get to the end of the line. We're gonna be sitting here forever.
Are you making fun? No, I was almost at the end of the line anyway. Um, so morning sort of yoga.
Okay.
I've been doing morning sort of yoga. Let's see. Ronald was at a couple of big fairs last weekend.
And thought of me. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you clearly were thinking of her because I'm not an artist.
Thank you.
So I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing a
Sort of yoga.
sort of yoga. I've been doing like a morning bed yoga where you just kind of, you do the stretching and you lift your legs and you twist and then you twist and then you cat cow and but you do it all in bed.
It's giving a big comfy couch. It's giving laying down doing the clock thing.
Yeah, kind of. But it seems to unstiffen my back a little bit.
Oh, that's good. Maybe I should
So,
tell Wayne to
but
start doing that.
but my bed is kind of lopsided. So I didn't do it this morning, and now I feel it that I didn't do it this morning.
Hmm.
So I might switch to chair yoga.
Ooh, are you one of
Your
those
bro- your
people?
your brother's gonna bring the chair upstairs, and maybe I'll do chair yoga.
You're becoming one of those people. Oh, I can't miss a day of yoga or I'll just feel awful for the whole day. It's really changing my life.
Shut up. You know I don't want to be one of those people.
Ronald says, well, Danny, you're an artist too, but I've not known you to go to fairs and purvey your items, which is true.
'Cause I don't have any
You're also
items to purvey it. I mean, who wants to buy my
what
color by number pictures?
you send me your items to purvey. I think I've got 3 bucket hats left.
Well, you did sell that one bucket hat out of the yarn that I can't find, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was I'm so sad I can't find that yarn. Don't get me started on that. But so yeah, I'm doing the morning sort of yoga. I'm probably gonna your brother said he'd bring the chair up for me. Oh, and your brother is using the hula hoop.
Oh, nice. How's he liking it?
He is enjoying it. I think he didn't realize it was out there in the garage, and I
Mm-hmm.
brought it in to do, and we were trying to find a spot in the house because it's too darn hot outside.
It's, yeah,
So
that
we were
hoop is
trying to find a
big
spot.
though.
We were trying to find a spot in the house where it wasn't going to hit anything. And I told him I was thinking about getting, the thing that they advertise on TikTok. I'm sure you're on
Oh,
that
the
side of
one that's
TikTok.
like the click, 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 and they're like chicka,
Yeah,
chicka, 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 with the ball,
yeah,
the weighted ball attached. I want
with
one
the
of
weighted
those
ball.
too. I need to. I'm so glad they stopped showing me those videos and those commercials because
No,
I was
I
like
still
two
get them.
seconds away from buying one.
I
I
still
was
get them
2 seconds
all the
away, and I'm
time.
like, I already bought the hula hoop that I gave away. I bought the jump rope that is hanging in my office right now that I have not touched in months. I do not need to buy another workout thing. We have an elliptical and a treadmill downstairs in the basement right now that we've got
So
to
do
try to
we.
figure out how to take with us to move.
So do we. We have the elliptical, the treadmill, and the recumbent bike. And I'm thinking about trying once again on the recumbent bike. I really liked the recumbent bike when
Mhm.
we used to go to the Y, and that's why your father got one because he liked it at the Y too. But I think because we got a cheap one, of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's not, I don't know if they come in different sizes or something, but your father and I are both tall. And I felt
Mhm.
like it's not I felt like my knees were bunched up. I don't
Oh.
know if it's just because the thing is not tall enough or because I have too much, you know, junk in my trunk, as they say. And so I cannot back up into the seat like somebody with a flatter butt could do.
Mm.
So my knees are just, you know, bunched up.
I am
But I feel
currently having. Oh, go ahead.
No, but I'm thinking about giving it another try, either that or the elliptical, because the garage is cool even during this time of year. It doesn't get terribly hot in the
Hmm.
garage because your father did the insulation and everything. So,
Yeah, I am currently thinking about trying to do more. Like, I've been trying to slowly work in more leg exercises because
mhm.
I am having that same issue in my car. The new car that we got is like, so I've got the Honda, which I would prefer to drive the Honda. I like the big Honda, but the Honda, we know, is prone to breaking down. And even though we've gotten it fixed, we haven't had any issues with it recently, but the Honda still is like not the most reliable car. And so I don't want to take it to like festivals and stuff like, especially ones I have to drive like way out to do. And so I am driving the what is it? It's a Nissan. It's a little. It's the one that we got from Ari.
Uh huh.
Um, and you've seen Ari. You've seen me. This car was built for a small person, and so whenever I'm driving, so
Well,
you
I
know,
don't
you
think of Ari as a small person.
well, he's not like small like frail and skinny, but he's not like thick or anything. He's fit.
True, he is not robust like us.
Yeah, he is fit, I would say. But so I and you and I know that in our family, the ladies got the booties. And
Yeah.
so when I sit in that car, like when I sit in the car, you put your legs down like this for the pedals or whatever.
Uh huh.
And so this is my right leg reaching for the like gas or whatever. I have to cock my knee to the side because the steering wheel sits on my thigh, and so I can't, if it's like straight on, the steering wheel sits on my thigh. And so I have to cock my leg to the side so I can press the pedals and still like turn the wheel and everything. It's driving me crazy. Who's already, he's old friend. We've known each other since college, since my freshman year of college, sophomore year of college, freshman year of college. Yes. Good friends.
Yeah, she has friends like that. She's not like me.
Friends enough that he could show up at my house unannounced and just walk in my door.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that at my house.
I do that every time I show up at home.
And I yell at you every time.
Yeah, because I'll walk in the door, and the first thing out of my mouth every time is, "I could have been a burglar."
And the first thing out of my mouth is, "You don't live here anymore. You don't go walking in somebody's house."
Except I do.
Except you do.
So, what are
Okay.
your other life updates?
The only other life update is that I am actually leaving the house tomorrow.
Where
I
are
was
you
I
going?
was
What is the
almost I
emergency?
was almost going to leave the house today, but it didn't work out because I would have had to cut this situation short.
But where are you
So,
going? Don't keep the people waiting.
oh, it's not anything exciting. Yes, I keep adjusting my air conditioner, trying to get the air to blow directly on me, but I keep moving around. So I'm trying to get to a spot so that I don't have to bring out the fan and assault Ronald's ears. But no, tomorrow is Aunt Terry's birthday, also your late grandmother's birthday. May
Mm.
she rest in peace. But her and Aunt Terry share a birthday. And for those watching, Terry is my BFF. And oh, is that her texting me?
She knew. She felt you speaking
Oh
about
no,
her.
that's Chloe who apparently is watching us. She says, "Can she raise the steering wheel?"
I've raised it all the way. First of all, Chloe, if you're watching the video, comment in the chat. Make it look like people are talking to us. Anyway, second of all, I the steering wheel is fully raised and the seat itself is fully lowered. There is just no space there.
And there's nowhere for you to push the seat back.
I have the seat all the way back, pushed all the way down, steering wheel. I have adjusted literally to the max. Because in the Honda, because I have to adjust the steering wheel in the Honda all the time if I come in after my roommate Christian driving, because he's short. And so he will lower the steering wheel. So every time I get in the Honda, I have to raise the steering wheel all the way up because we are tall, voluptuous people. And so I have to raise the steering wheel all the way up. So I've got the space. But I have adjusted it to the max in the Nissan, and it will not. It's as far as it goes. As far as it goes.
Whole time you're talking, I'm trying to remember what is short in Spanish. I know alto is tall.
Court,
Short,
court, something
no.
like that.
Capo, no. I can't remember. Anyway, face blue, star eyes,
Oh, it
face
looks like
blue.
Ronald was putting in emojis, but it did not recognize like two or three of the emojis.
I was trying to figure out what the heck was that. Baja. I knew it was a four-letter word. Thank you.
Aha.
Bajo. Bajo. Baja. So he is Bajo.
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, tomorrow's Aunt Terry's birthday, so we are going out. She wants to go out to dinner and um possibly go somewhere like maybe to a coffee shop that's having live music so we can just sit. Like not go to a concert where we have to pay, $70 for a ticket. She wants to go someplace that happens to have some live music.
Hmm.
And but we've been going back and forth since yesterday because she told me this. She asked me Monday, and you know me, I'm not good with last minute.
Me
I
either.
need to be prepared because I don't leave the house. I mean, for those in the know, I am the let's see, how many times have I left the house this year? What is this? This is May. Did I go get my glasses this year?
The fact that this is a thing that you could actually calculate, I feel like is enough.
We went to Aunt Connie's birthday.
Hmm.
I think I got my glasses this year. I think I
Hmm.
got my glasses after Christmas. So then this would be my third time leaving the house this year so far.
I would be going stir crazy.
No, I don't like to leave the house. And this is little I was thinking about this. I knew we were going to be talking about this and while I was making my lunch. And it occurred to me as I was making my lunch. There is this teeny tiny part of me that the little girl inside me who always used to love to say things for shock value. I like telling people that I don't leave the house. I know it's weird, but it's fun to tell people, "Oh yeah, this is only the third time I've left the house this year." Because I know they go, "Oh my god, how could you? I could never."
The drama.
The drama. But yeah, no. I mean, really, I don't since I don't drive, it's always been set up this way. You know that, Maya. Since I
Yes.
don't drive, I don't do any of the errands. And now that we can have groceries delivered. I mean, even before grocery delivery, your father used to do the grocery stuff, but now groceries are delivered, so he doesn't have to do as much of that.
Hmm.
So and I don't work outside the home. I was working at home before the pandemic started. So I it was like a year before the pandemic started. I was already working it. No, it was more than that.
Yeah, because you've been working at home for a while.
Yeah. I'm thinking of this current job, but I had two other kind of jobs that didn't last more than 6 or 8 months, but you
Hmm.
know, that I was working from home. But yeah, I've been working at home for a minute, so I don't have to leave the house. So so all that is to say that it is stressful for me. That's why I am Danny the discomposed because I it is stressful for me because we haven't decided where we're going. So I don't know what
Ooh.
I'm going to wear.
Yeah,
I don't
that stresses me out. I need all these plans now. We need
I
to.
don't know I don't know if I need to put on my wig and some makeup or if I can just go with my
Oh,
twist
natural.
my twists that I have in now because these twists are still fairly fresh. They're
Yeah,
only
they
a
look
week
good.
old. They're only a week old. See,
Yeah, they look good.
they're a little loose in the back because that's where my white girl hair is, and that won't stay twisted up. So, see, yeah, that so I'll have to retwist that, But and I don't really when I say makeup, really all I have is lipstick and some BB cream to put on my face because all of my mascara and other things dried up a long time ago.
Mm,
I keep thinking about buying some more makeup and start wearing makeup for this live stream,
do
but
it.
it hadn't happened yet.
You do it and I'll do it.
And then there is so I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I kind of I've picked out an outfit because since I don't leave, I have clothes because your father's love language is to buy me clothes.
Hmm.
I have clothes that still have tickets on them. Not a lot, but I still have two or three. And usually I try to make sure those get worn when I go on the cruise that we do
Hmm.
once a year. But still, these are outfits that only get one wearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's
I'm a.
okay. Wait a minute, I'm trying to translate.
Ooh,
I don't know that last word. I'm guessing it's makeup. He's saying that I don't use makeup.
that's what I would have guessed.
Um,
Oh, maybe pull it up on the screen so that anybody watching the video later understands what we're talking about.
oh,
Ronald over here
that.
speaking the Spanish. We out here trying to be polyglots.
Okay. 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 You vamp. I'm trying to check this text from my ride or die, my BFF, my Aunt Terry, your
Okay.
Aunt Terry,
My
my
Aunt Terry, my
godmother,
godmother.
so I can see.
You vamp. First of all, Chloe, if you're watching, you better say something in the chat. Oh, yeah, you were right. It does mean Danny doesn't wear makeup. Meanwhile, makeup is my whole general deal. I've been thinking, honestly, about while we're talking about makeup, because so I'm doing a lot of vending. I've got like my June is like filling out, honestly. Like I want to say 10 events, including farmers markets, but including those farmers markets, I've got 10 events lined up for June, which is a good bit since most of them fall on the weekends. So, but I have my sign that I hang up in the back, and I love my sign. I do. But I made that sign when I was still making a lot of candles, and I only really made candles for like 2 years and have not made them anymore just because we are in a chaotic point of trying to move out of the house, and the candles take a lot of like set up and moving things around, and I don't want to have to set that up and break it down, set it up, break it down every time I want to make them because it's just a bit of a process. um so on my sign I've got pictures of henna, which will always be there, but then I've also got pictures of candles, which are never on my table anymore, and they look so beautiful, but I never have them anymore, and so it feels a bit out of place. So I was thinking about redoing my sign and having like my logo, and then maybe pictures of henna, and then just like some fey magic-y like swirls or something. I don't know, I'm thinking about redoing my sign because I most of
Yeah, that sounds good because you need to
mm-hmm,
give a good representation of
of what I
what you
have.
do, what you do, what you have, what you sell.
Yeah, I think if I take the candles off and just have like henna on one side, face paint on the other, and then if people see the all the rest of the crafts on my table, then they know that I do other crafts,
Mhm.
maybe. And that way I can have, and that'll be good examples of my henna and face paint up on the thing. So I think I'm gonna do that. Hopefully Vistaprint is having maybe another sale because I got that sign for $30, which is not bad at all. And so hopefully they'll be having another
Cool.
sale so I can get another sign for
Cool.
$30 because I do not want to spend more than that. How are things going with Ride or Die?
Okay, so I think we might go see a surprise show. Have you heard of So Far Sounds?
I don't think I have.
They do these like pop-up concerts and
Okay.
they don't tell you
They'll tell you who the concert is?
it's like a $19 concert. They don't tell you who the concert is till 36 hours before. They don't tell you the location till 36 hours before. They um
It's like underground stealthy.
Yeah, but they've been like they've had some artists at their shows like in New York and other places that I've enjoyed. So I kind of know the style of artists that they
The that they
bring
tend to get.
through that they
Hmm.
tend to get. So, do you know that song by Yeba My Mind?
Hum a bar.
I no, I can't.
Then
I
I got
can't.
nothing.
But
In the words of Randy Jackson, that's gonna be a no for me, dog. Okay, Rattle.
when it comes
Right.
when it comes to music and things, my BFF is adventurous. When it comes to food, she is not adventurous, which means I'm probably going to be eating something bland tomorrow, but the music may be interesting.
Mm,
So,
that sounds fun though.
so you don't know Yeba My Mind, you really don't.
I mean, I might. I just there are lots of songs that I know that I don't know by
Or
name.
Tank and the Bangers. Do you know Tank and the Bangers?
I don't know. I would need to hear a song, a
You don't know
chorus.
Tank and the Bangers. Oh God.
Now is not the time to look it up because unless you are going to play it on this YouTube live stream, which you probably shouldn't, so we don't get copyright stricken, it's not going to happen. I'm put links in the chat right now.
They're not gonna pay any attention to us.
Yes, but when we eventually make it big, and I'm putting this out in the universe, when we eventually make it big, they're going to go back and look at all our videos and they're going to say, remember that video that you did back in May of 2023? We're going to take the money from that. Actually, thank you.
We don't have enough viewers for them to even give us any money. So calm down.
We're
Calm
working on it.
calm yourself down. Okay? Calm down.
So when you break up with somebody like a little
And
manual,
you pull it up anyway.
I sure did.
I feel like I've seen her before.
Yeah, you've seen her before because she does the
She did that. This.
listen to my DMs.
Yes.
That's her.
Okay. Did they get? Have they gotten them before? Have they gotten her before?
Yeah, this is their so far concert.
I thought
Oh.
that
Okay.
this should be a poem for when you break up with somebody like a little manual or something.
I love her hair.
A manual for when you break up with somebody, right?
You need to go
Because
back and
it's
listen to
not
this
so
song
easy
because this
to
is a
get
cool
over them,
song. I'm gonna link it.
right?
Yeah.
It's really a poem.
Because in the meanwhile, you feel so silly just
Yeah, that's
waiting
what I was
for
gonna
the
say.
song to
Was the other
release.
one felt more like spoken word
Yeah, their
than
stuff
a
is
song?
half spoken word. I am writing it down so I can put it in the.
You so down. You so silly, girl. You waiting for a call.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
you so
Cut it off
silly,
before we get copyright stricken.
you
They're not thinking about us.
Yet.
Whatever. But you need to go see you need to go watch the video. You can play it on Spotify, but the version on Spotify is slightly different.
Mm.
So you really need to watch the video.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
It's
check it out.
really good. And you see now that I'm saying it, you don't know Yeba either, do you?
No, no, no. Now that you're saying that, I remember because we had this conversation way back when she released a song because her name Yeba is like Abby backwards, which was this
Yeah.
whole like conversation that we had like way back a while ago when she like released something. I think it was that she released something that got pretty popular, and then you were like, "Oh, I didn't realize that people knew her because she like something happened." Because this was like I want to. It feels like
A lot
5 years
of I
ago.
watch a lot of reactors, and yeah, this was like 5
Yeah.
or 6 years ago. I watch a lot of reactors, and a lot of them reacted to this song and went batshit crazy.
Hmm.
Oops, I said a bad word.
I mean, we're 40 minutes in. We're good.
But anyway, I am going out tomorrow.
at a quarter till three. You closed the door and lay down next to me.
Oh yeah, if this is the vibe of music that
And
they get,
I
I'd pay
heard you
$20 to go to one
say
of their
my
concerts
name in your
and be
sleep.
surprised.
Your
Yeah, my only concern is that they say on the website that there is not any um guarantee. Thank you, Ronald. That is so sweet. Right now I'm having an anxiety ridden time, but I'm sure once I actually um pick out what I'm gonna wear, and because this I know enough, I'm how old am I? I'm 55, 56. How am I? How old am I, Maya?
How old were you when I was born? That's how I do this math.
I don't know. I was 30 when the twins were born.
30 when the twins were born.
How old are the twins?
They're 25.
Then I'm 55.
Yes. I love that we have to do full algebra to figure out how old you are.
Because in my head, I will keep saying that I'm 52 until I'm 60, unless I do the math.
Okay, so usually when ladies do this, they'll pick a younger age, like, oh, I'm only 39.
Well, no,
You didn't go down enough.
see, in my brain, in how I feel in my brain, my personality and stuff, I feel like I'm about 30 as far as what things I feel comfortable with and things like that.
Wrong age 26, you're 56. I counted Isaac's age, not Chloe's age. Because Isaac is 5 years younger than me, Chloe's 4 years younger than me.
See, yeah, all kinds of math we got to do to remember how old everybody is.
Because I'm not keeping track.
So
No longer on the insurance. Oh, stop. It hurts me in the gut.
it hurts me in the gut, and it's not even me. I'm worried about y'all not being on the insurance.
I am also worried about me not being
Right.
on the insurance.
So anyway, to wrap this up, I'm hoping I can talk your Aunt Terry into going to, because I've been sending her TikToks for the past 2 years of different restaurants in the Charlotte area that
Hmm.
have interesting looking food. But we will probably end up going to some place that has burgers.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a good burger.
I mean, burgers are good, but if I'm leaving the house, I want to
You want to experience the world.
exactly. I only leave the house once every quarter. So I want to wear my best clothes and I want my hair to look nice. And I want, hello, Darlene. I haven't seen you in a
Oh
minute.
my God, Darlene! We have three whole people in the chat. Sound the alarm. We have three whole people in the chat. Oh my goodness.
But since I only leave once every quarter, I gotta make sure I have nice, put on my best clothes because I'm not gonna be able to dress up again for months. And you know, and also with this So Far concert, what I was gonna say is that they don't have a guarantee of what Ronald sounding the alarm. They don't have a guarantee of how the seating's gonna be. So I gotta make sure she's got matter of fact, I need to text her now.
What are we
Make sure she
texting?
has like folding chairs on the off chance that we have to
Mm.
have our own place to sit.
That's something you will always have if you travel with me because I keep my market chairs in the trunk always. Always.
I mean, I kind of want to go to this place in Gastonia that has birria tacos because I've never had birria tacos.
Hmm.
Or I want to go to like maybe an Asian place and have some pho. But the thing is it's her birthday. And when we usually go out, I usually force her to do stuff that like, I always make her go to musicals and
I mean, if she keeps going to the musicals, she can't be that opposed to them.
but I always make her go to musicals and make her go eat food that she doesn't normally eat because like her husband is like meat and potatoes and don't you dare add an onion in there.
Oh,
I mean, salt and pepper is it. I mean, all the jokey videos about how white people can't season food on TikTok.
Is it
Thy
because of them? Is it because of him?
thy name is Barry. Okay. Okay.
Well, you answered that text message. Speaking of trying new things, they had me working on the international aisle at work today. And so I got a new snack because I was like, that looks good. Let me try something. I got, oh, it's backwards. I got some watermelon rings with tahine.
Tahine, I love me some
Yes.
tahine. Oh, I love
Chili
tahine.
lime.
Do you use tahine in your food?
I don't. I don't use it on anything, and so I got these, and I sat because I ate like half the bag. Because I, spoiler alert, I really like them, and I ate like half the bag, and then I sat the bag on Wayne's desk when I got in from work because I was like, as a sign of saying you can have some of these if you want some. And he came in because I was still awake when he got up, and he came in like, "What on earth made you think that you were gonna like some chili lime snacks?" And I'm like, "Did you open the bag? It's half empty. I did enjoy them." But I don't
Okay.
use tahini on anything else.
Okay. First of all, Ronald is going to see 5 shows.
Name them. Name them now. I want to know what you are seeing.
But while he's about to name, he also said that they put tahini on sweet corn where he is. And
Mm.
that's I just literally, no exaggeration, I just had tahini on corn last night with pork chops for dinner.
I am becoming less and less of a corn person. I'll eat corn on the cob. I don't like loose corn. I don't like sweet
Speaking
corn.
of corn, he's going to see Shucked.
I've seen clips from it. I don't know anything about shucks, but I've
I've
seen
seen
clips from it
clips
on
too.
TikTok.
The clips
And I'm
look
like,
good.
ooh, it looks good.
Uh-huh.
Sweeney Todd with Josh Groban.
I saw the ham for ham. I
I
saw
don't
the
think
ham for ham. And see, we're already sliding out a life update into
we
media,
are.
but whatever.
I
Poor,
need to
poor
know.
Chloe. Poor Chloe.
Chloe, you can figure it out, but I need to know.
So he's going to see Shucks. He's going to see Sweeney Todd with Josh Groban. Yeah, I saw the ham for ham where they did that mix with Josh Groban singing the Sweeney Todd songs. Did you?
I
They
don't think I
did
saw
like
that.
okay, ham for
Oh,
ham.
wait, was it? No. No, 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 I don't think I did. Kimberly Akimbo, Some Like It Hot, and Juliet. I do not know the rest of these.
I know some like it hot. I've heard of Anne Juliet. I have not heard of Kimberly Akimbo.
So these are things that we need to look up and report back about later.
We sure do. Um, but yeah, the ham for ham, they did a because of the whole writer's strike and
Mm-hmm.
the thought that they might not do the Tony broadcast this year.
Mm-hmm.
They brought Ham for Ham back. Ham for Ham before was like a lottery thing to get tickets to Hamilton, but now they brought it
Mm.
back and they're doing songs from different shows or highlighting because they're not songs necessarily from those shows, but they're songs highlighting different shows that have been nominated.
Okay.
And so the Ham for Ham, the Sweeney Todd one was um the Sweeney Todd one was okay. You know the song Alexander Hamilton. His name is Alexander Hamilton.
The
You
opening
know,
song?
the opening song, yeah.
Yeah.
But they do it about Sweeney Todd.
Oh, I did see that. I
Yeah,
didn't realize that's what that was for.
yeah.
I did see that.
His name is Demon Barber Sweeney
Yeah,
Todd.
because they did like a
Yeah.
whole mashup thing and they got the
Yeah, they do
cast
the whole
going both of
mashup thing.
the. Yeah, I
Yes,
did see that.
yes. So
I was frustrated because it was a live recording on somebody's cell phone, and whenever I started cheering, I didn't hear anything.
yeah, no, there's several different ones of that. I will find the one that
Yeah,
has
find
the
a clear
good
one.
recording because I first saw it on TikTok and it was like from the side and you
Yes.
got all the cheering and stuff. But I think it might have been the YouTube channel Behind the Curve where they were in front like this and like the people singing were like this.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
So you
Shane,
should really.
put that link in.
And they did that one and the Camelot one with the Camelot remix. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Write this down. All these links going in the video.
Okay, I got both of those. So matter of fact, today is Friday, so they'll probably have a new one up Friday because they're
Mm.
supposed to be doing new ones either every Thursday or every Friday at 4 o'clock.
Is
I
it the
can't
same
remember.
channel putting them up?
I don't know. I don't know because I keep finding them different places.
Mm-hmm.
I heard, but I mean, you hear Lin Manuel Miranda say in the video, "We are going to be out here on these steps
Mm-hmm.
every week at 4 p.m." But I can't remember if
Okay.
he said Thursday and Friday. I can't remember whether he said Thursday or Friday is the day
Mm-hmm.
they do it. So I don't know what day the videos go up. I don't know,
Okay.
but there's that. So, and I have a feeling we lost Darlene because we're not talking about
Not
yarn.
at all. We have not, and we should be there because this is technically life updates. We should have. We should have. We skipped right over
And
Yarny
we're
thoughts.
and we are skipping right back to Yarny thoughts because we've got Yarny thoughts. So back to the Yarny thoughts. Okay, so much for staying in one area, but
That's. It was not laid upon our spirit to do so. That was not. That was not our
yeah, it
journey.
it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be.
No, you're fine, Ronald. It's not our journey. We were never going to stay on track. She thought we were, and she laid it out there as a hope, but it's that is not our journey to make.
Yeah, I know. I gotta finish this coffee so I can go ahead and drink my tea. Um. Okay.
Let's go
Morning
on down the
soda
list. What do
yoga.
we have?
Okay. Cozy hoodie still on hiatus.
I'm about to take mine out. As soon as I'm done with these festivals that I have going on, I am taking mine out.
I haven't taken mine out yet, just in case I may change my mind. But I had a blanket that stayed. Excuse me. I had a blanket that stayed. Um,
Half finished?
not even half finished. How about a quarter finished?
Ooh.
And I still have that pattern somewhere, and if I can find that pattern, I might make it again.
Mm-hmm.
But it stayed in. I just finished unraveling it probably last year or the year before because well shoot.
Well, shoot.
Well shoot. I don't think I have a picture of it anymore.
Dang.
Well darn.
You probably do somewhere. We can look it up.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It was my gaudy Afghan and I took that thing out. Oh there it is. Josh off a gaudy Afghan.
I need to take more pictures of my stuff. You have so many pictures of all of your things, and I just do not. I need to make a file in my on my
Yeah,
Google Drive.
this thing stayed at this stage in my um stashette for years, for a good 15, 16 years before I finally started and I started picking it out bit by bit. Those
Cheese
colors
and crackers.
those colors are not true by the way because I couldn't get a true color on my camera. This was back when I was still using a Palm Pilot. That's how old this
Ooh.
this pictures are.
Well, that just placed that in time for me. Oh my goodness.
So when I say I'm gonna, put off taking it out, it'll probably sit there until I need to yarn for something else. That's basically what I'm saying. But okay, so you're working on wands.
Yes, I have some half finished ones. I actually got up and grabbed them and brought them over here. So I've put down the work for them. I just have not painted them yet. So let me carefully. All right. So here is one of them. People always ask, how do I make these? I'm like, oh, you make those yourself? How do you make those? It is fully just hot glue. So here is, and I've got like a drip pad. Let me. What if I? Because it's always really bright over there. Because you guys are right across from the window. Let's see if I can. Can we see sort of now some of the details?
Pretty.
And I got some new crystals. So this is one crystal that I had before that's
Pretty.
not shown up very well on camera. It's like, if I maybe, there you go. You can kind of see it better. I've got this purpley crystal at the top and then these little rainbow crystals. So I've got that one. I've got this one, which I love the spirals on this one. It's got 3 or 4 crystals at the top, and it's got some spirals coming down. And I will hopefully remember to take some pictures once I have painted these, because you'll be able to see them a lot better. And then this is the last one. I was trying something a little bit different. So I've got like a cluster of crystals at the top that you can barely see. Maybe if I turn the light back off. I've got a cluster of crystals at the top that it doesn't want to focus on. There we go. And then I've got some like pearls going down the side, which I kind of really like actually. So I'm going to be painting these probably tonight so I can have them ready for market tomorrow, and we'll see if I remember to take pictures of them. But that is what I have, because the rest of my wands are gone. I've only got one wand left in my stash of stuff at the market. So I have started on those. I've been putting it off because I've been wanting to make wands for the last like month, and I've been putting it off because it just takes so long, because you've got to put the glue down, and then I make them like 3 or 4 at a time, because you put the glue down and then you have to wait for the glue to dry on one, so you start another one, and then you have to wait for the glue to dry on that one, so you go back to the first one, you have to wait for the glue to dry, and so you like start the third one.
Yeah.
And so it's a process of kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I've got to paint them, but I think they're gonna look good.
It sounds good. Um, let's see. Oh, I skipped over crop tops.
I I've been trying to figure out what to do with the yarn for the cozy hoodie, and
Mhm.
I am going back and forth between making a series of crop tops that are all in the same cute color, or making a crop top and a pair of shorts that are like matchy matchy, or just using all of the yarn to make a hexagon cardigan. Because
Mhm.
it's that Karen Simply Soft, so that would be a real soft like cardigan or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But I've got all this yarn. I could make some cute like sets, like a crop top and short set or something that would be so matchy because all the yarn is the same. I don't know what I want to do.
You mean a
'Cause,
crop top for yourself or
yeah, for myself,
for
because
yourself?
I don't
Mhm.
wear enough of my stuff. Most of my stuff is made to sell, and so I'm trying to make some things for myself to wear. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's a thing that I keep thinking about. I think it's hit my brain right now because they're online. Some people used to do a thing called Me Made May, where you make stuff that you wear yourself and then you post pictures of you wearing all your own
Hmm.
handmade stuff during May.
Yeah, I would like to have just one fully handmade outfit. I just don't. Ugh.
I don't see myself having a fully handmade outfit, but I would like to post, even if it was just like maybe once a week during the month of May, a picture of me wearing something that, because I don't think I could make enough stuff for myself to do every day in May,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
maybe,
me either.
once a week,
Hmm.
it's my dream used to be to make Afghans for everyone in the family, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Ugh. You would be knitting or crocheting forever, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Okay, double double.
Ooh, what are you making right now? What's in your hands?
What are you talking about?
I see little needles flying around, unless that's a pen in your coloring. But I heard you say double double, which means that you are
I
counting.
I
What is in
am
your
not
hand?
I am not coloring. Thank you very much. No, I'm working on the hexagon blanket, which is the next thing on the list, which my progress isn't very, you know, progressing. This is only my third hexagon, but I'm almost to the end of it. I'm doing the black border right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
So this is only my third one.
Okay.
But so far I'm not hating them. I feel like they work up really fast. I'm still enjoying the project, which is a struggle for me.
Yep.
I'm still enjoying the project, but I don't pick it up as often as I should.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in here I have messed up.
Ooh. Is this a project you can work on stream?
I don't know, is it?
We're about to find out. Before you get to the rest of the stuff, because I think the last two things in the list are stuff for you. I forgot to put in the list like finished stuff because I finished a few things. Get out of the way. Tahine watermelon rings. Um, so I finished. I made another bandana, and I put little
Nice.
like shells on the edge. Which these are the exact same shell pattern that's used on the mermaid bags. And I was like, this is
Uh-huh.
something I can remember. And so I just added it to the bandana. And I think it looks cute. I love it. And I'm using up, this is some more variegated yarn that I was using for the mermaid bags. I've got two more finished bags. So here is one. These are the smaller ones. And so I am not putting the starfish on these so that I can keep them cheaper because that starfish, one, it was a pain in the butt to try to crochet, and then it was a bigger pain in the butt to try to sew on. And so
Mhm.
cheaper, I'm just leaving the starfish off. So this is one of the smaller, cheaper bags that I'm going to sell for
Uh-huh.
20 instead of 35. So here is one of them. I'm really liking this variegated yarn. I wish the sun wasn't washing it out. There we go. There we go. Now we can see those colors. This is one of the variegated yarns that I used that I really like. And then here's another one, which is the exact same color pattern as the bandana I just showed, which is a different variegated with yellow.
That
So
looks
here's
nice.
the variegated with the yellow. I thought so. I really like the yellow with this. I might go get some more of this yarn, but it's from the homophobic Hobby Lobby, so I need to make some time to go out to Joann's or maybe Michael's. But I've got this one, and I have a third one. So those are the two finished ones. I have a third one that is almost done. I just haven't put the strap on it because I'm so tired of sewing things. Because the strap is constructed. I just haven't sewed the strap onto it. But this
Yeah.
is the third one with that same
I
variegated.
like the purple. Is that
And it's got
purple
the
or
purple.
blue?
It's purple. It's showing up blue on camera, but it's purple.
Well, I thought it was purple, but then I thought, oh, maybe I'm just not seeing it right.
No, it is purple. It is. It looks very blue on camera,
Okay.
but it is. It is a nice like Barney. No, not Barney. It's darker than Barney, but it's a nice deep purple like a plum.
Taki.
Getting the Takis.
What
I
does
don't even like
what does
Takis.
Taki what do Taki I've never had Takis. What do Takis have to do with art? I
Oh, because
wonder.
I was talking about my tahini watermelon rings
Yeah,
because they were in my way.
watermelon rings are not art, but whatever.
I'm art. I am art.
Okay. Oh, you are art.
Duh.
No,
Have
you're
you
Maya.
ever heard of a nickname? Oh, what does my name say in my lower third right now?
Okay, yes, I have to acknowledge the name that you are going by right now, which is Artemis. Forgive me for being a bad mommy. Mommy 2.0 would not make these mistakes.
Mommy
Maybe
2.0.
we should go get Mommy 2.0 because she would not make these mistakes.
Okay. Well, how about Mommy 1.0 goes over the rest of the list?
Are you
So
sure
we've
you
got
want just sure you want to continue with Mommy 1.0
that
because
that's who we started with. We've got to be consistent.
Mommy 1.0 is not doing so well.
No, that's who we've got to go with. We've got to be consistent. We can't have any changes.
I can't guarantee that Mommy 1.0 will do well for the rest of this video.
We may recast in the next episode, but in this episode we have Mommy 1.0.
Okay, if we must. Okay, so men wearing crochet. Maybe I should save that one because that goes into what we've been reading and
No,
listening to.
you're good, Ronald. I got it. Because that is what people call me sometimes. You're good, Ronald. I got it. It was straight over her head because she is so focused on this crochet right now.
No, it's straight over my head because that's not what I named you. So I don't know. I'm confused. I'm being a boomer at the moment, despite the fact that I'm squarely Gen X.
Boomer is really just a state of mind at this point.
Yeah, and right now I'm being in that boomer state of mind. On top of my anxiety over having to leave the house tomorrow.
Which is a very millennial thing, honestly, in my opinion.
Whatever. Well, I mean, I don't care what it is. All I know is that I am. Oh Lord Jesus.
Ronald got into the Takis and they are spicy.
Okay. Oh, maybe I should have put some more ice in my air conditioner. This is the air conditioner that Chloe got me, by the way. 'Cause
I
she,
need to get the information on that because I've got markets and festivals and stuff coming up in June, and Wayne is supposed to be there with me. And he is a man that runs hot.
yeah, but if you're at
And
the market, how are you going to have electricity to plug this thing in?
that's what I was gonna ask. Is there any way that, like, what kind of plug does it have? Because I could bring a battery pack if it's a USB.
I think it does have a USB thing connected to the end of it. I'll have to look at it later.
Yeah, because if it's got a USB thing, I've got again from Chloe. Chloe buys the good gifts. Apparently, I've got that big old battery pack that Chloe got me for Christmas like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's got a USB thing connected to the end of it. I'll look at it, double check to make sure.
Because I am tired of him fully melting or turning into a roast chicken every time we go to a
Um,
market in the summer.
we can't have your ogre melt. Okay. Um, new baby to stitch for.
Who's baby? That's what I saw this in the thing, and you guys don't know. We have a Google Keep list. I mean, you've probably heard this referred to the list. We've got a Google Keep list that we just add stuff to throughout the week. And I saw this, and I added a little surprised emoji. Who's having a baby?
It's who had a baby
Who had a baby?
2 days ago.
Who was pregnant that I didn't know? I don't keep up with anybody.
We didn't know they were pregnant either. two,
Okay, at
two
least I'm
days
not completely out of
ago,
the loop.
your cousin Nawan, his wife, just had a baby girl.
Didn't we just see them and she had just had the baby?
She had a baby boy, but she hadn't just had that baby because that baby was close to walking, I think.
Oh, you're right. He was a little bit older. In my head,
Because
babies
because
until
because I because I made him a sweater and a blanket months before.
mhm.
And so your father texted me because Nawan called him, which which warmed my heart a little bit because that meant that he thinks of your father as family enough to call him right
Aw,
away about the baby rather than having him
finding out
find
on
out
Facebook.
on Facebook. Exactly.
That's sweet.
Which other relatives would do. They actually called him. So but between you, me, and the fence post, I told Nawan the last time we were all together for his father's funeral, I said, "Y- you know, let your uncle play grandpa for a minute with your baby because none of our kids are having kids.
Not
So
really.
we are not going to be grandparents. So because your father was standing there in the yard with Nawan's son, just tossing him and playing with him and doing all this other stuff. I said he's getting all his grandpa's yayas out right now because we are not going to be grandparents because y'all are not giving us grandbabies, and I'm fine with that.
We
I have no desire to be grandma.
we are just not kid having people, and honestly, this is
I
not a
thought
kid
I
having
thought
economy right now.
I thought your one sister was going to be the one, and then she informed me, nope, me and V are not having kids. I was like, okay. So,
I I'm surprised that you thought that she was going to be the one when she is the one that is in a not so straight relationship. I'm the only one that's in a straight relationship currently.
yeah, but she likes kids. The rest of y'all
I
your brother actively dislikes
he
children.
does he hates children, which is so funny.
He doesn't want to even see children on like television shows.
It's so
He actively dislikes children, which it comes by it honestly. I don't like kids either. But
it's so funny. But you casually, you're like, oh, the baby, yeah, whatever, like, sure. But I just like hates kids.
like when there's a competition show like America's Got Talent type thing, and a kid comes up to start singing, he will walk out of the room.
So funny.
He's just like, mm-mm, no. So anyway, your father texted me as soon as he got off the phone with Nawan and said Nawan's wife just had a baby girl, just in case you want to make something. So I was like, ooh.
Ooh, so what are you
Because
making?
I don't know. I don't know. There's so many things going through my head. First of all, I have committed myself to finishing this hexagon blanket
Okay.
because Rose's son is almost 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to get this blanket finished for him. Not that they're expecting it or anything. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only way I can do these kind of things is because they don't expect me to do it. As soon as you expect me to do it, then my it's in my nature to rebel against it, and then I don't do it. If you
Mm-hmm.
expect me to make something for a gift giving occasion, or even if I have to go buy a gift for somebody or something, if you expect me to do it, I'm not. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. So, but to just to even for like birthdays and stuff like that, I feel better. It takes less stress off of me if I don't have to try to remember when somebody's birthday is, if I just buy a gift and give it to them randomly through the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe remember to text them and say, happy birthday on their birthday, but then, send them a gift some other time so that I don't feel stressed trying to find a gift.
Only people who are my family and people who are my inner circle get a happy birthday, even extended family. Because I do not say post happy birthday on people's Facebooks anymore because I was so stressed about the idea of missing somebody's birthday and forgetting to post. And then they'll be like, I saw you say happy birthday to so and so, and then you didn't say happy birthday to me, which has literally never happened. But I
Uh-huh.
decided one year, I want to say it was like 2017 or 2018, I was like, I am not wishing anyone happy birthday on Facebook this year. And so now, whenever people have birthdays, I will send them a text message that says happy birthday. But I am not like dealing because it was for some reason it
Mhm.
was giving me so much anxiety, even though it was never a situation that ever happened
I
ever.
know that, but I had that same thought too. Is that if I, remember one person and don't remember the other, but I don't even go on Facebook anymore. So
Same.
because seeing other people's lives has stressed me out. So,
Same.
but I have the Mina sweater. Remember the one that I made for
Cousin Kelly?
cousin Kelly's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
The crochet sweater that I made for her. That one turned out really well. And remember, as soon as I finished that one, I had started a purple and yellow one right
Yeah, and
after that.
that's the one that was made like kind of all in one
Yes,
piece.
all
Yeah,
in one
okay, yeah.
piece. Yeah. So I should probably bring it up since we are in Yarny Thoughts.
Mm,
But just in case somebody does not remember what I'm talking about. But I started it, if I can remember where I put it in my, because I started it and you gave me a hard time because it's like you're supposed to be working on something else.
the sweater that we are now taking apart.
Yes, the black cozy hoodie that we are now taking apart.
I
But
I'm still bummed that that is just not that's not like I want that sweater so much. I want that hoodie so much, but not enough to make it.
Exactly.
When I first started making it, I was like flying through, and then I was like, "Oh, I am really not making that much progress," even though I was working on it
Exactly.
all the time.
Exactly. But this was one that I was really happy making it. The
Mhm.
only stress I had about it was that because I was using scrap yarn, I didn't know if I was going to have enough yarn to finish it. And that's
Mhm.
why there's that light yellow stripe toward the bottom because I was trying, and it's still like 4 rows shorter than the pattern called for.
Mhm.
But I think it still turned out okay.
Was that knit or was that crochet?
That's crochet. That's crochet. So I was so happy making that I immediately started one with the purple yarn that I have, but then we sidetracked into something else. So I can't remember how far I got into that one. So I have to look in my stashette and see if I still have that one
Mhm.
because because
Put
I could make that, but I want to make what I want to do is the same thing that I did for um your cousin Kelly's 2 babies, which is I made stuff for the newborn and then I made another thing for the older child.
mhm.
So I still have that hoodie that I started on that was made out of that blue jean yarn.
Yeah,
That
I remember that.
I made good progress on that till I got to the part where the pattern was where I really needed to kind of think to
Yeah.
separate for the arms and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I need to pick that one back up. That's why I'm thankful that I still use that notebook that I started using a few years ago to write down what kind of
I
projects I'm working on.
So speaking of that notebook, I every day am just living in just a low level amount of fear because I put all of my information in that stitch counter app. And so I will put the yarn that I'm using, I'll put the size hook that I'm using, I'll put what row I'm on, I'll put like where the pattern is, if it's on Ravelry, if I got it from Etsy or whatever. I will put all of that information in my stitch counter app with the thing. If something happens to this app, because it does not save online anywhere, if something happens to
Mhm.
this app, I am ruined. I am ruined.
Oh
Now, I mean,
boy.
I could look it all up. It's just, I will be so upset. I will be so devastated.
Yeah, that's part of why I don't do all of my stuff on Ravelry. I
Hmm.
do some notes on Ravelry, but I don't know. At some point, I felt like I should just put my finished stuff up on Ravelry and do the what am I trying to say? Because I will find projects and have no idea where I left off on the
Hmm.
project. And those aren't the kind of notes that you normally put up on Ravelry. Although now they've added a thing on Ravelry where you can do private notes. I don't know how long they've had that, but they have a thing where you can do private notes where only you would see it. So I get and I have put some private notes on projects up there that on projects that were in progress, but I don't know. I waffle depending on the month, honestly. Sometimes I do private notes on Ravelry. I've done a few of those, but I also write projects down in that notebook. Sometimes I do it all in the notebook
Hmm.
just so that I know where I left off if I put a project down for months at a time. Like that sweater that I the purple, the second sweater that I made, the purple one. I started that back in February and I haven't picked it up.
Mm.
So who knows where I left off in that sweater,
Yeah.
you know. The only reason I know I started back in February is because I did note when I started in Ravelry. So that's why I can look it up right this second and tell you. But
Yeah, I put like one progress photo of the cozy hoodie in Ravelry, but other than that, I have not. And I think that's the only thing that I've ever posted in Ravelry because I was like, oh, well, let me start keeping track of stuff in Ravelry, blah blah blah. Because one, I thought we were going to get through that hoodie,
mhm.
but two, I was like, let me start keeping track. And I'm like, I don't even take enough product pictures to post things on Instagram. Like
Yeah,
it's a real problem.
that's your priority, is to put stuff up for your projects that you are selling, because that's your money maker. So that's your priority. But I I really started using Ravelry because I always forget. The majority of my stuff is given away
Mhm.
for like baby shower gifts, or just, yeah, pretty much baby shower gifts. I would say a good 90% of stuff that I've made has been like baby shower gifts,
Mhm.
or baby gifts in general for someone's child, not necessarily the baby shower, but for someone's child. And so I never see that stuff again.
Mhm.
I never see it getting used. I never see it, you know, anybody wearing it, or blankets being used, or anything like that. And it's weird to just call somebody up and say, "Hey, how's that blanket doing that I that I
Yeah.
gave you 2 years ago?" So I take pictures of it just to, and because I don't have a proper camera, because a lot of people prefer to have a project notebook that's like a physical notebook.
Mhm.
And I guess that would be good, except I want to see pictures to remember that I did a good job on something, and I don't have a proper camera to take like actual pictures that you can print out and put in a book.
So, there is something that I need to tell you about. They came out with this new thing where you can actually take the pictures that you take on your phone, and you can upload them to which upload, it's like you take the pictures and it sends it to the
Okay, okay,
computer.
whatever. Don't
And
make me
then
hit you. Don't make me hit you. I didn't used to have a printer either, and the printer I have sitting in here now is not a color printer. So Ravelry is just a bet for me. Ravelry is just a better solution all
Mhm.
around. But I see what you're saying. I also agree that one day when Ravelry disappears, I'm going to have no record whatsoever
I mean, I
of.
don't think Ravelry is going anywhere in the immediate future, because I just saw, it was a little while ago. I meant to send it to you. I just saw, it was like a TikTok, I think, and it was this girl who is doing all these crochet stuff, and she's like, "So I really want to tell you guys about where I find all my free patterns. There's a site called Ravelry where." I was like,
Girl, are you new?
I was dying.
Are you new?
I meant to send it to you, but I think I was like looking at my phone, like either in a time when I wasn't supposed to be looking at my phone, or like I only had a quick second or something, and I forgot to send it. Oh,
Like, oh my God, girl, are you new?
I was dying.
I was trying. I've been on Ravelry since 2007.
Cheese and crackers. I had not been on Ravelry that long. I wonder, where does it say how long you've been on Ravelry?
It's
Where
on
can
your
you look at
profile.
user since? Let me open up Ravelry. Let's see what we got. While you are about to move on to the next subject, which is men wearing crochet? Question mark.
Yes, and this kind of goes along with, I was watching Queer Eye this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
but and they were wearing, especially the cook guy, Anthony, but there was a couple of other people on there, men wearing crochet items. Okay, and not just, and I kind of expect it from the gay men, okay, because they're fashion forward,
2010.
but there were straight men wearing, um
Sorry to derail you. I've been a user of Ravelry since 2010.
okay, okay, yes, my Ravelry number is 4131.
There's a number?
Yeah, if you're on there and you click on the area where it says you've been Raveler since,
Ooh,
you click on the date and it'll tell you what your number was, because you used to have to wait in the queue to get an invitation to be on Ravelry, because they were scaling up slowly. You couldn't
mm-hmm.
just join willy-nilly.
I got my number 1004785.
So you're in the 10,000s.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in before they had 10,000 people. So I'm an early adopter.
Is that 10,000? Hang on. Where are my commas?
Didn't you say 100?
That's, hang on. So that would be 1,000. That would be, is that 1,000 or is that a million?
Say it
It's
again.
1004785. Without commas, it is so hard for me to see.
Oh yeah, that is a million.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, that is a million.
in the
So
early million club.
so yeah, I was an early joiner. Let's put it that way.
But anyway, you were watching Queer Eye and guys wearing crochet,
Yes.
which you expect from the gay guys because they are more fashion forward, but
But
the old straighties out there.
the straight guys were wearing it too. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's like I'm still surprised.
Oh, that is an affront to the senses.
What is an affront to the senses?
That third one over with the yellow, that's a lot.
Talking about
That is a
this?
lot. No, right, the one right next to it.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
that's
Now some
nice. I would make that. I would wear that. Wayne would wear that.
okay. The cooking guy on Queer Eye was wearing this one in one episode.
I want
Let's
to figure out
see.
how to make that because then Wayne and I can have matching outfits for the cruise.
One of the people they were making over was wearing this one. They bought this one for him and he really liked it.
It's giving Mr. Rogers,
And what else in there did
but
they
like not in
wear?
a bad way.
What else did they wear?
But no, the one that I said was an affront to the senses
Oh,
is that one with the yellow background that was right beside that green one.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my
But
goodness.
this one, the fashion guy was wearing this one also.
Is that crochet?
Yes, he was wearing this exact one, the exact color and everything.
That's nice. That looks like just a normal shirt.
And I was trying to see if there's another one.
What is that style of shirt called? Because I want to find more patterns. Like the green one, the first that first of all, that's the one that I've been saying is the affront to the senses, where your
This
mouth is
one?
hovering. Yes, I don't like it, and I don't know why. I think it's just too many colors, too many, and the hat, and I don't like it. Don't
But
understand why.
this is I think sometimes they call, because I like this one too. I
Yeah,
think
because that
this
just looks like a shirt,
I think sometimes they call this a Cuban shirt
a Cuban shirt. Okay,
or a bowling shirt.
okay.
But
Ronald, if you're still in the chat, would you wear any of these shirts?
probably not.
In my head, Ronald is very fashionable and like dapper. I don't know. I have no clue what Ronald looks like, but in my head, Ronald is very fashionable and dapper and like a little on the bougie side, but like, does it make you feel bad about it?
But yeah, I just wanted to address that. I every time I see, sh- men in particular, men wearing crochet, but straight men in particular wearing crochet, I'm confused.
I am confusion.
I'm just confused. It just
It's permeating all of pop culture right now. The crochet girlies have invaded, and they are making their straight boyfriends wear the crochet.
even when I see the girls wearing the crochet, I'm confused. I'm like, oh, the crochet is really out here. It's really out here. Every time I see it on something, I'm like, oh, they're still really wearing it. It wasn't just last summer.
It's still a thing.
And you would think that I should be jumping for joy because it's like, this is my craft or one of my crafts anyway, but I'm just confused.
Yeah, the only
I'm
thing that
confused, number one, but number two, I'm like, oh, you gonna wear crochet, but you went for that.
sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, it you could have done better. The thing that
Yeah,
bothers
sometimes
me,
I'm like, you're giving crochet a bad name. This is why people stopped wearing crochet back in the 80s because they looked at the 70s and said, please keep this.
the thing that bothers me, and this is probably just because I am a maker and seller, is that some of the girlies are out here making this themselves or like buying it from their friends or whatever, and that's one thing. But a lot of the like companies have seen that crochet is popular, and so they'll have these like fast fashion crochet items, and so they will have like a crochet top for $10 or crochet
Mhm,
shorts for $15 or something, and I'm like, there is no way someone is
mhm.
making this fast enough to be able to sell this for 10, $15.
Which means somebody's not getting paid.
Exactly.
Because that
Someone's not
that's
getting
that's
paid.
yeah, that's something that's been talked about in several I've seen several YouTube videos, which I don't know if those videos are actually and TikTok videos, which I don't know if they're getting to the non-crafters who need to hear it. That
Mm-hmm.
A, crochet cannot be done by machine.
It
The
cannot.
way crochet is formed, it cannot be done by machine, which means somebody is doing it by hand. And no matter, even though crochet is faster than knitting, you still can't do it fast enough for somebody to be charging $10 for a whole shirt or something like that.
Exactly. Because they are, because like if Target has a $10 crochet top, imagine how much they, because Target is going to make their profit. Target's going to make their money. Sorry that actually, I'm not sorry that I'm calling you out, Target. Um, Target's going to make their money. And so, what is Target buying that shirt for from the people who are making it?
Exactly. Pennies.
Exactly, which is insane. And then the other side of that issue is that girlies are now thinking, why is your top $30? I can get this for $10
Mhm,
at Target. Like
mhm.
it's making it look like we are overcharging when
Exactly.
we're not.
Exactly. But that was all my thoughts on yarny crafty things. Oh, one more yarny crafty thing, just quick, is that I'm still working on coloring in the books that Isaac got me. So I finished this picture.
Oh, it looks
Which,
nice.
yeah, these are not really nice enough to hang, but they're fun to do. They're relaxing to do, but they're not because like the paper is what they call online Amazon paper,
Uh
which means it's just very thick, self-published paper. You
so
know, like if you or I were to create a coloring book
yeah.
and do it through the Amazon self-publishing situation or the KDP is what they call it. Um, this is the paper you would get, and
hmm
it's cheap as chips. So it's not as nice as this paper here from because this was traditionally published author, and so this paper here is nicer paper.
Yeah.
Um, but it was fun to do, but it's not. And this is the one that I'm halfway through. That one was circles. This one is more. Um,
Oh
this
my goodness.
this one is just lines where you go back and forth, and this one is easier to do
hmm
because when you do the spiral,
You've
unless
got to like follow it all
yeah,
the way
if
around.
you're not paying attention, you get lost
Uh
as to
huh.
what line you're on, and if you put it down, it can be harder to tell where you left off on this one, whereas
hmm
this one is much easier to tell where you left off.
Also, I don't know if you can see this, but on my end, because of how it's made with the spirals and the lines, it's giving like a funky effect on the screen. It looks like an
Yeah,
old TV. You can see it?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm,
It's so funny.
mhm. Yep, I can see it. It's giving that funny look. I can see it right now when I hold it this
hmm
close. It's giving that funny look like when you look at those what is it, those hidden eye puzzles?
Oh, the like, what is it called? Magic Eye or whatever?
The magic eye or whatever, where you can't see anything, and then if you kind of slightly cross your eyes a certain way or something, then the thing pops out 3D in your face.
They make
Yeah.
like videos like that now. They make you like TikTok and YouTube videos like that where you have to like focus in a weird way and then
I
everything
have
looks
never
3D.
seen one. I have
I will.
I'm
I love in the middle of the
I'm not
night.
I'm not on that part of TikTok.
I will find one and I'll send it to you so you can put it in the links.
I am not on that part of TikTok. Okay, so yeah, Queer Eye season 7. Usually I notice these things, but I um somehow missed that the new season of Queer Eye had started. So I went ahead and
Ronald said he's back. The dogs are very interested in the talkies, so he had to put them away. Not the dogs trying to get their
don't
spice.
poison the dogs with the Takis.
They probably wouldn't be poisoned, but don't give your dog spicy stuff because they will have violent diarrhea. It is not good for their tummies.
Ooh, yuck. But yeah, I watched Queer Eye season 7, and I have discovered that because I'm old enough to remember the original when it was called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Hmm.
And I think I mean I'm still probably going to watch whatever seasons they put up there. I've also watched the German one and the Brazilian one, so I'm going to watch them.
Is this
But
where I admit that I've never seen an episode of Queer Guy and don't know what they do?
Queer Eye, you've never seen Queer Eye.
Never.
Okay. Well, Queer Eye, it used to be called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy when they
Hmm.
did it 20 years ago.
I remember this.
Because so it's the same show
But what
with
is it?
different
I didn't
people.
watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy either. I don't know what they do.
Yes, Ronald. Yes. Yes.
It's
The original the
too
original
heartwarming.
the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was you got these five guys who go in to some straight guy's house. Who's been nominated by his sister, girlfriend, mother, friend, and said, "This guy is a slob, doesn't know how to dress. Can you just, whip him into shape?" And usually there's some sort of event like a birthday party that's coming at the end of the week or whatever. So can you whip his life into shape before then? And each guy has a specialty. So there is the guy who does the clothes. There's
Hmm.
the guy who does the food, which pretty much, goes through your kitchen and gets through rid of your junk and tells you how to cook a simple meal. There's the guy who does the house, who, cleans up the house and redecorates it. There's the guy who does I'm trying to remember what they are on this current show because it was different on the other show. Oh no, it's not. It wasn't different. There's the guy who does the hair. Okay, who's the grooming guy? So the clothes guy and the grooming guy are separate guys. There's the
Hmm.
grooming guy who does get your hair cut, shave your face, shows you how to use skincare products. And
Ronald's saying
then
personal care.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the last guy, which is kind of nebulous, in the old show he was called the culture guy,
Okay.
and who kind of helped you with manners and stuff like that. But in the current show, because they've gone with this whole heartwarming stuff. And you know me, I like a good, melodrama, and I like to cry in front of things and stuff like that. But this is too woo woo for me. Like I couldn't make it through Weight Watchers because I couldn't go to these meetings and talk about how I was tempted by food and all this other stuff. I don't feel like me eating is a psychological thing. I feel like me eating is I like the taste of food,
Hmm.
so I eat lots of it.
Hmm.
Okay. Now I'm not eating lots of food because I don't want lots of food. So it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't deny that there are some people who are like eating their feelings or something like that. But I eat food because it tastes good.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a bad mood or something, then I'm less likely to eat food. I'm not eating my feelings
Hmm.
or whatever, you know. And you know me, I'm picky about food. I'm not as picky as your Aunt Terry, but I'm picky, but I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, their whole thing, even if you're the house guy or um the food guy or whatever, whichever guy relates to something that the hero, they call them heroes now in the new show, the person that they're making over, and it's not all straight guys. As a matter of fact, it's hardly ever straight guys. It's, it's lesbians, it's straight women, it's, gay guys, it's trans people. It's,
Mhm.
it's hardly ever straight guys anymore. But they talk a lot more on the original show. I mean, they did talk a little bit about what you might be going through or whatever, but it really was more about the surface of, let's help you get your house and stuff in order, and that'll help you get your life together and deal with your feelings. But we're not going to sit here and talk about them. On
Mhm.
the other, on this current iteration of the show, with different, again, it's different people doing the show. It's not the same people who did the 20-year-old show. They're more about helping you get in touch with your feelings about why you're not taking care of your house and why you didn't go get a haircut, and why, and there's always an issue about, my mother didn't know I was gay because I didn't come out to her, and now she's dead, and now I can't tell her, and now she,
Mhm.
just sad stuff. And and it's just, I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I
I'm
have no
I'm
desire.
I'm still gonna watch it because I can't help myself.
Explain to me why
But
someone would watch this over, let's say, Project Makeover.
I don't know.
Because it's giving, it feels like Project Makeover, but make it gay.
I don't think I've ever seen Project
Did
Makeover.
you not watch? No, is it Project Makeover, or what was the name of the show? Because it had the guy and the girl, and they would like ambush the person, and they're like, "Your family says
Are you
that
talking
you
about what?
dress
Oh,
like
what not to
trash."
wear?
Maybe it was What Not to Wear.
That was
Maybe I'm
what
thinking
not to
What
wear.
Not to Wear.
And I was a big fan of that show for a long time, but I stopped watching it before it went off the air simply because they had a, yes, exactly. Let me take this one off. Yeah, he liked the old one because the old people, they were just trashy people. And like
Hmm.
the first episode of this new season, they do over a frat house, and there's like five frat brothers that they're doing. And it does start out that they are kind of trashy.
Hmm.
The house is nasty, and they need to know better. But then they can't help it once they get that, all the other people work on them, and then they get down to the last guy who's the culture guy or whatever, and Karamo, and he gets them all in a circle, and they start talking about their feelings, and all of a sudden all these frat boys are crying, and it's like, which I'm sure they needed. They needed some models,
Hmm.
and they said that themselves. They needed some role models to help them understand about how to become men and stuff like that, and that's why they joined the frat to begin with. But I didn't need to see their therapy session. That needed to be private.
That kind of thing always, I feel like, rubs me the wrong way, I guess is the best way to put it. Because if you, no matter what's going on, if we're doing all this stuff, but I can see a camera 5 feet away from me,
Mhm.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not
Uh-huh.
going to spill all my feelings. I'm not going to like, it's crying on camera is not a thing that I'm comfortable with. That's like, I don't understand how people who are, because I've made a few TikTok videos where I like just finished crying or I was close to tears, but never like mid on camera crying, if that makes
Uh-huh.
sense.
Mhm.
And I
Because
don't
because
like,
how do you have time to set up the camera when you're in the middle of crying?
yeah. And I understand like you're wanting to get this message out, wanting to get this word out. When I'm crying, I'm crying. I'm just
Uh-huh.
crying.
Exactly.
And I don't,
Exactly.
that doesn't happen on camera because I feel like I'm being watched. Is I don't know. And not like shaming those people. I just don't, that is not how I function.
Exactly. Exactly. But but yeah, so that's why I ended up watching the whole thing about the people The men wearing crochet because I watched Queer Eye,
Okay.
and which goes into the end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
I'm sure everyone has heard it all over the news because it's been on every. Well, I can't say everybody's heard it because I thought everybody had heard of Succession, and clearly you and Ari had never heard of Succession. But all over my end of the internet, people have been talking about Netflix cracking down on password sharing.
I've been seeing some of that.
And so far, I haven't heard anybody, and I watch all of them when everybody talks about it because I'm wanting to see what happens when they actually crack down on somebody.
Yeah,
So far,
they
nobody has been cracked down on yet. All I've seen is that the email has gone out to the account holders.
well keep an eye out because from what I've seen, they said it will, or maybe you were the one who sent it to me, that they said it'll be handled one of two ways. Either um everyone either they you can choose to either have it set for your home Wi-Fi and every account will be like once a month or whatever will be logged out and you will have to re-log in on
Oh
the
no,
home Wi-Fi.
I didn't tell you that. I hadn't heard about
Okay.
that.
So you can there's two options. Either you'll set it for your home Wi-Fi and everybody who's on the account will once a month or something be logged out and you'll have to re-log in on that home Wi-Fi. If you're not on the right Wi-Fi, then it's not gonna log you in. Or you can have it set the other way where you can have it wherever, but if someone accesses it from a different Wi-Fi, you're automatically going to be charged an extra $7.99. So
Lord.
I'm about to delete Netflix off of all of our devices so we don't accidentally rack up your charges.
Oh no. Oh no, you need to tell your siblings that. I hadn't heard of that one.
I mean, I just saw it, so I don't know how accurate that was because let's be honest, I get all of my information from TikTok. Um, so I don't know how super accurate that is, but that is what I was seeing
Ugh.
is that they will automatically charge you that $7.99. So there's not a like
Yeah, and the one thing that I had seen was that I was watching, I think it was Philip DeFranco I was watching, and he said something along the lines of 7.99 because the email they sent me, Netflix sent me, said 7.99 per person. It
mhm,
didn't say starting at 7.99. It just said 7.99 per person. But from what I'm hearing, it could be higher per person if you, because like right now we have the plan where you can watch on four TVs at once, and um the high definition, not the standard definition.
mhm,
And the high definition plans are more expensive than the standard definition plans. The
mhm.
standard definition with ads is 7.99 if you were to start it your now yourself.
So you're saying that because you have the higher one, if one of us were to log in, we would probably have to pay more because you got the fancy one.
Yes,
Ew.
because we've got the highest plan. So
It's giving greedy, it's giving price
adding you
gouging.
guys, yeah. And but from what I'm hearing, because at first I was like, oh, well, let's see how long this lasts because they're gonna lose a lot of people canceling their accounts. But it's still not gonna make a difference because from what I've heard, when they tested it, that's why they tested it out in other countries.
Mhm.
When they tested it out in other countries, like they expected, I don't know the exact numbers, so this is like ballpark, but roughly they expected to get like 3 million more accounts, and what they got was 1 million more accounts, but it's still more accounts once they crack down on the passwords. So I think they're going to be happy with getting more people.
I don't know because that wasn't in our I deserve my stuff, gun loving freedom USA. So I don't like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like doing something in another country as a test is like, I feel like can give you maybe a rough ballpark, but the difference in like cultures, the difference in like and law abiding things, because like I feel like over in Japan and Korea, where they're very polite, rules following, we like, and stuff like that, somewhere
Mhm.
like that, they would probably like, oh, well, they're changing it. So this is how we have to do this now. Whereas
Uh-huh.
over here, the number of videos that I've seen that are like Netflix cracking down, here's 5 illegal websites where you can watch your stuff. Like,
You are so silly.
yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna go over here. It could be the same, but just like based on like cultural differences, I feel like maybe not. It may not be what they were
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But
That's what I'm hoping. And then Netflix will be like, "Ooh, we made a boo boo."
well, I don't know if they're going to reverse once they start doing it, but I hope my only hope is that they give you a warning. I mean, I hope that email wasn't our only warning.
Yes,
I hope they give you one more warning before they charge your account because
yes.
I want to leave it the way it is until
The last second.
I absolutely have to change it because I don't know, I just have a feeling that they might change their minds about this. So I don't want to cancel all of you guys off of our account
If Target can
if we
pull
don't
part
have
of their
to.
Pride collection because the straighties were getting upset, Netflix can change their mind.
So but that's enough of that. Oh, more thoughts on the Spotify ads right quick. Um
You say your thoughts, and then I'm going to say my thoughts because I was about to add something about the Spotify ads until I saw it in the list. Continue.
okay, quickly, I I I just did some reading on a couple different articles online. I can't even remember my sources because I just did a quick tour through the internet, quick Google search and then just hit, browsing through different articles. But the consensus seems to be number one, a lot of people have recently noticed that they're getting ads where they weren't getting ads before. They've noticed that it's only in the podcast and it's not just the um
It's not just the built in ads.
yeah, it's not just the presenter read ads, the
These feel like
podcast host
ads
read
from Spotify.
yeah, the host read ads. These are ads from Spotify. Um and it has something called dynamic ad insertion. So, because a lot of people were like, why am I listening to an American podcast, but I'm in Sweden and I'm getting Swedish ads? It's because of dynamic ad insertion. Those, even though the podcast episode that you're listening to is from 2018, they're going to put in new ads, which hints the thing of my that thing where they talked about a Mount Holly Street Fair
Hmm.
while I was listening to a podcast is because we're on the family plan and the family plan is registered under Isaac's name. So
Yep.
it's going to go with wherever he lives. Um, but also, I read a thing that suggested it was talking about how the dynamic ad insertion works. And it suggested that because I was wondering why am I also all of a sudden getting ads like the other day I just got an ad for Kerrygold butter. Why am I getting an ad for butter? I've never gotten ads for butter the whole time we've had premium on here.
Butter makes ads? Who? What? I'm so confused.
Yes, companies that sell butter make ads like Land O'Lakes butter and I can't believe it's butter
There
and
are some products that I feel like everyone uses, but you never see ads for.
like
Or
salt.
like you used to see ads for, you don't anymore. Salt and pepper. I don't see ads for those. They used to do the Band-Aid ads. I am stuck on Band-Aid brand, but Jerry's stuck on me. They used to do those. When was the last time you saw a Band-Aid ad for Band-Aids?
We hardly ever see ads. I mean, we see ads, but we don't see ads like we used to because we don't watch regular TV anymore.
Tape and duct tape. I get ads all the time on YouTube and TikTok
Mhm.
and
But
Instagram.
those are different kinds of ads because those ads go on an algorithm based on what things it thinks you like because or things you searched on because of Google or whatever.
That's true.
So you get more targeted ads. We don't get just the random ads.
That's true.
So now you woke up Ronald about band-aids. He saw the different skin tone band-aids at the
Yes,
store the
I
other
haven't
day.
seen them yet, but I haven't seen them IRL yet, but I've seen people posting about them because they got the dark skinned band-aids now.
I haven't seen those, but we haven't bought band-aids in goodness knows when.
I need to
But
buy some.
the one article all I was saying is that the reason I brought this up is because the one article I was reading posited that these ads let me see if I can say it properly. When Spotify is not getting a lot of ad buy-ins, then they will either not put in ads or put in ads steering you toward other Spotify products. So, like, I have occasionally gotten an ad say, hey, this is other podcasts on Spotify that you might like. Or I got an ad where they tried to get me to buy an audiobook that they're featuring because, they do audiobooks on Spotify now.
I know I've
But,
bought 4 of them.
girl, those are too expensive. Stop it. You don't have money to be buying audiobooks. So, but they were trying to recommend me Spotify brand butter. They were trying to recommend me uh, other things that were on Spotify.
Mhm.
Go listen. You enjoyed this. How about go listen to that? But and the article suggested that it could be because we're hearing more of the Kerry Gold butter ads and stuff because now after the pandemic's over, people are buying ads for stuff again.
Mhm. People
Where
are
they
buying
were
up that ad space.
yeah, where they weren't buying up the ad space before because everybody was stuck at home and they felt like nobody was going to buy anything. So
So
now all of a sudden we're hearing ads where we probably should have been hearing ads before, but nobody had bought ad space, so there was no ads.
So that probably explains what I was going to talk about because the thing I was going to mention was previously because I listen to podcasts all the time and all my
Mhm,
podcasts I listen to are on Spotify. And I've been listening to
mhm,
podcasts on Spotify for years.
mhm,
Previously, even with the dynamic ad insertion or whatever, I would listen to my podcast and during each ad break, I would get 2 to 3 ads on the regular. It would be like, or sometimes just like one ad and then like, and back to the show if it's like during a good time or whatever.
mhm.
But recently, and I mean recently as in within the last like 2 weeks, every single ad break, I feel like I've been getting 4 ads minimum.
Mhm. Oh, I get a ton of ads.
Like, what do you mean I am getting 5 ads during my ad break? What is this? I didn't realize this
And
show
I'm
was
a
going to have
person
a full intermission.
exactly. And I'm a person who grew up with ads on television and ads on radio. So normally I am fine with ads, unlike your father who skips every ad. You would think that he's not a Gen Xer because he acts like ads are gonna burn his skin.
Mm.
He just, he can't stand to sit through a single ad. And we've been watching a thing on Peacock, and I only pay for the $5 Peacock, so they have ad breaks, and it drives him crazy. I see him fidgeting over there on the other side of the bed. It drives him crazy. But he what am I trying to say?
He can't stand
But
all the
but
ads.
he can't say that. But they've been playing so many ads that I am getting to the point where I actually start skipping the ads now. Whereas I used to, because I'm used to ads, so I start just I usually
Tune it out.
yeah, my brain just tunes it out because I'm like, this is the price I pay for, getting something for free or whatever. But the Spotify thing, is being paid for.
Yes, that's the other thing.
The Spotify thing is being paid for. So it's a little annoying to still get all those ads.
Hmm.
And the thing is that I generally tolerate ads if you're not giving me the same ads all the time. I'm getting the same ads for the same shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which if it
And on top of that, they are ads for all those true crime, murdery, mystery shows that I hate. One right after the other, I got to get ads for some true crime murder. Somebody got disappeared. Somebody scammed somebody and then murdered them. Somebody, I don't want to hear all that.
I've been getting them too, and I do enjoy true crime. Again, we talked last episode about how
You're a
I'm
recovering true crime addict.
I
We
am. I
know.
am no longer murderers right now. I enjoy a silly little crime that happens to rich people, but I also am getting a lot of those, and I am glad that. Not glad that you are also getting them, but I'm glad to hear that it's not just me. And I'm like, oh, I
That
done
you're
messed
not
up
going
my
crazy.
algorithm, and I'm getting all these murder things because I listened to the things before, and I don't
No,
want to
I
listen
don't
to them
listen
anymore.
to any murder things, and but I'm still getting them because I think because I do listen to a lot of news-based shows that are
Hmm.
news slash comedy, like Daily Zeitgeist and Hysteria and NPR Political Gabfest and um, what else do Americast from BBC
Hmm.
and um this week in news. I listen to a lot of that stuff, and so they must think that I want to hear murders, and they also must think that I want to. All those newsy people seem to watch Succession, which is why everybody I hear is talking about Succession. I don't give two flips about Succession.
I finally just heard someone mention Succession in when I was listening to my last episode of Dungeons and Daddies earlier this week. And I was like, oh, Succession, mommy hates that show.
I can't say that I hate it because I have never watched it. I just know that I'm not interested in it.
Hmm.
I'm not interested in it. And it just feels like there is I don't know if I expressed it well last week because I just couldn't get over the fact that none of y'all had heard Succession and that derailed me. But I can't seem to it feels like everything right now is in a dark mode.
Yes.
And I feel like that's why I seek out like all the cozy games and what I used to call gentle programming. I watched so many Hallmark movies till I can't stand it anymore. I can't even watch Hallmark movies anymore because it's just too much. But, you know, and I read romances, but I don't read the dark romances. I always read the synopsis of a romance, and if it's mafia, no. If it's motorcycle club, no. If there's any kind of somebody got kidnapped or murdered, no. If it's alien dystopia, no. If it's the end of the world and zombies are coming, no.
Have we had the conversation about how what was that book? There was a book that you read the whole series and I read the one book and it was about like an asteroid hit the moon and the moon came closer to
Yes,
the earth and
yes,
how that book
yes.
traumatized me.
Yes. Oh god, I can't remember. That was back when I still used to read stuff like that because I thought, well, it's an important book and I read all variety of stuff. That was before I started reading all romance all the time.
It was it
But that was the first book I read, and I cannot remember the name of this book. I would have to look it up.
it was
But
something about like I keep wanting to say The Last of Us, that's the video game, and then
mhm,
Left Behind is the Jesus one.
mhm.
It's I can't remember the name of it. And
But
then there was Us or something.
if anybody's watching this, it's it was a book, it's not a romance, but it was a book where one day something happened in the atmosphere and the moon came super close to the earth, and I mean super close.
And it messed up the tides and it knocked all the satellites out and the phone stopped working.
It messed up the electricity and stuff. And when it first started happening, people ran to the grocery store because they had a feeling, oh, this is only going to get worse. And they were like, getting everything they could from the grocery store and all this other stuff. And the government didn't know how to fix it. And
And they started having to send out like trucks with rations to people.
Mhm. But the way this story was written was so, and I mean, I read this before The Last of Us was a thing. This book was out a long time ago. I think
Mhm.
Maya was still in high school. It was
Yeah.
before The Last of Us was a thing. It was before The Walking Dead was on television. It was, so it's not a zombie or anything like that, but it the way it was written was so realistic
And it was written from the
that
perspective of like a 15-year-old girl.
yeah, and it was so realistic that I went to bed and woke up thinking, shot up out of my bed thinking that we were living in this world, and
Same.
I was disoriented for a second when the lights were actually working and the washing machine still worked.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was reading the book, and there were multiple times where I would stop and like look out the window and make sure that like the moon is in the right place. I did not. I don't think I finished that book, and I did not read the sequels. You read, I think, all
I
of them.
read the sequel, yeah.
I did not because I was just like, this is too real. This is too
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I cannot.
Yeah, it wasn't so the feeling of that wasn't so bad with the second book, but with the first book, I just remember I couldn't shake that feeling of we are actually in this world.
And she was like trying to call her like aunts or somebody and waiting for
Uh-huh.
like because they had to like wait in a queue to be able to use the phone or something and get in contact with their family, and I was just
Hmm. It was a very stressful book.
stressed.
But I just feel like a lot of but I finished that book because I have to Ronald honey, if I could remember, I will look it up. I will look it up because I think that was still around the time when I was saving everything that I read on Goodreads. So I think if I go back several years on my Goodreads, if I do it right now, I will get distracted. But if I go back several years on my Goodreads, I can find what book it was because I can picture the cover because the cover had the moon huge on the cover, but I can't remember. But it was
Life as we knew it.
Life as We Knew It.
Just looked it up. A meteor knocks the moon closer to Earth. Miranda, a high school sophomore, takes shelter with her family. Todd, told in a year's worth of journal entries. Life as We Knew It chronicles the human struggle to hold on to the most important resource of all, hope.
Was that
In
was that the first book?
I believe so. It looks like it. Yeah, because it's got that cover that you were talking about.
Yup, that's the cover.
Life as
That's
we
the
knew it.
cover. Well, thanks for hanging with us, Ronald. You enjoy your long weekend as well.
Bye, Ronald. And now we can put that book in the
Okay,
description.
what was the author's name?
Ooh, hang on. Let me pull it back up. Oh no, I swiped away from it. Life as We Knew It. Susan Beth Pfeiffer. Pfeffer.
Thank you. I will add this to the show notes. Show notes.
Show notes.
That's what they do on Daily Zeitgeist. They say show notes. Show notes.
I do not know anything about that.
Of course you don't, because you don't listen to the news like your mother.
I don't.
Um. Okay, so let's zip through our reading and watching. You finished Ghost Whisperer?
Not finished. I got through season 2 and I have notes. So if you were not prepared for this, y'all had some years to watch the show. This is about to be some spoilers because I got some things I need to talk about.
You do that. Now, remember that your mother is not the type to remember a show at this many years since I watched it.
It's okay. I just need to gripe about some stuff.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, so I knew we watched that cover. I saw that cover and I was like, why is Aisha Tyler not on the cover? That means she's not going to be in the next season. You're like, yeah, she was only in one season. I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose Aisha Tyler so soon. I didn't realize that she died.
Well,
I thought
I didn't want to spoil it any further for you.
I thought, oh, she's just gonna like move on and like open her own shop somewhere else or like go live with her brother, or whatever. I did not realize, and the reveal of when she died because they make the ghosts just look like normal people, and then freaking Love is over here talking to whoever, and so they've been having conversations this whole time, and I'm like, oh no, I'm so worried for Aisha Tyler's brother, and then he shows up and like walks straight through her or whatever, and I'm like, she's been dead. I was rocked, rocked, I tell you.
I know.
I was unprepared. And then
I know.
another like little note. I'm gonna try to scroll through this real fast because we've been here for a minute. Scroll through this real fast. So now we have Love and Delia, who's the new like friend helping her run the shop or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And this is just like I feel like I'm missing some sort of reference or something. So Delia goes to one of the estate sales or something, and she and Love was like, "Oh, did you find anything interesting at the estate sale?" And she's like, "Well, not anything super interesting unless you're interested in like hair jewelry." And Love was like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure all that's a scam anyway." And then she's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I'll explain later." But they never explain, what do you mean? Was there some big hair jewelry scam that I don't understand?
The only thing that I can think of is I think Jennifer Love Hewitt, because you remember, she was young and she was on Barney and she was,
Uh-huh.
in the Barbie videos and stuff. I think she also did a commercial for these hair things where you can take the thing and you
And like clip the jewels.
stamp it on your hair and the jewel clips on and people never could get it to stick. And
Okay, so that was just like a jokey reference to
I think
person.
that's what that was.
Okay, because I was like, the way that they said it really feels like a reference that I just
Yeah,
don't
I
understand.
hate when that happens, when it feels like it's something you should know, or sometimes somebody will be on a show and it's like, I can tell they're not an actor. They must be some famous person, and
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know who they are. And then, thankfully, now we have the internet, and you can go look it up, and they'll say, "Oh, yes, the linebacker for the blah 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 team was on this episode of blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Playing himself or whatever.
All right. Moving on. Excuse me. Moving on to the next thing. This, it would crack me up every time they said it because of just, and it makes sense for the time that this show is filmed, but they would, so someone would have their computer sitting on a desk and someone would need to look up something. And so they'd walk up to the computer and they'd say, "Are you online?" As in, "Do you have the internet?" They would walk up, "Oh, are you online?" And it tickled me so much. Just so much.
That's because you didn't have to grow up with dial up, where if you got online, then nobody could use the telephone.
I remember we had dial up when I was little, but I remember it. I remember it. But it just
Okay.
like just the way that they asked the question, it just tickled me because my immediate thought is, you see a computer, they have access to the internet. And
No,
so they would just walk up, "Are you online?" So funny.
a computer does not equal internet.
It was just so funny. Okay, so the next thing, Jennifer Love Hewitt got the bobas out for season 2. Season 1, she was wearing the cloaks and all the whimsigoth outfits and the dark and the long and the layers. Season 2, she got the bobas out. They are out. She's got the low cuts and she's walking around in what feels like a lingerie top all the time.
Yep.
She got the bobas out. She
Yep.
said, "Oh, the show is working. Let me show off the goodies." So that was
So
that.
so you're apparently not familiar with the show that she was on USA after this show went off the air,
I am not.
where she played an escort.
I
I
am not.
I never watched the show, but it ran for several seasons. I can't remember the name of that show.
I gotta find this just to see what the show is.
I don't even know if it was good, but it ran for several seasons.
I'm curious. Okay, and then so I just watched the last episode of season 2. So there is. Do you remember the university professor that she was friends with, who he was studying like paranormal phenomena and stuff, and that was his whole like subject of study. He was like
Yeah,
tall and like blonde,
I think I remember.
vaguely. Okay, so I really like his character. He's like a smartass and like just constantly at all times. And so,
Was that the? Oh God.
but
Never mind. I'm gonna have to look it up.
okay, well I liked his character. I liked what they were doing with his character, and so he at one point he's like wearing a wedding ring or something, and Love was like, oh, are you like this with your wife at home? And he's like, no, there's no need for all of the charm with her at home. And I'm like, is his wife dead? Is his wife dead? But then they keep showing clips of him at home with his wife and like
So
seeming.
this was Jay Moore playing Professor Rick Payne, right?
Yes, Rick Payne.
See, I thought he didn't come later, until later, but I'm mixing it up because there's a different professor in later seasons.
Okay. Ooh, I'm mad. I hope they don't get rid of. I mean,
I didn't realize Jay Moore was so early in the show.
like late season 1 is when he shows up,
Okay.
but or maybe early season 2. But they have all of these scenes of his wife at the house and him seemingly interacting, and so I'm like, maybe she's not dead. Maybe he's just an asshole to his wife. Maybe she's not dead. But then they later are like having these conversations, and Love is like, so why didn't you tell me your wife was dead? And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. Oh, this whole thing. Okay, and then the special effects. So we talked about this before, but it feels like the quality of special effects varies so much, because there's within this same season, there's a scene earlier in the season where they have like a child or a doll or something crawling, and their eyes are like black and they're like spitting out black ichor or something, but it is very clearly CGI'd and looks terrible. It looks like something I could do on my phone in 5 minutes right now. It looks awful, like awful. But then later on in the season, like, and I know the seasons are like made over a decent period of time, but like, did we advance so far? Because later on in the season, there's a scene where it's like during this big whole thing where she's trying to figure out why they're gathering all the spirits and blocking the light, and they're trying to talk about the ship crashing or whatever, the ship sinking into the ocean. And so she goes and looks out the window, and then you see like ocean out of the window, and then it turns perspective, so you're looking at her in the window of her house, and it looks like her whole house is underwater, and there's a ferry sinking like kind of in the background or whatever. And I'm like, this looks good. Where was this when that baby doll was spitting out that ink? What is going on? Because that looked good. It looked like, anyway, I was like, who is your special effects team, and why are they not communicating with each other? Okay. The next note that I have is Jennifer Love Hewitt just has a pretty cry face. She just has a
does.
crying face meant for the camera. She is the kind of person that would get millions of views if she was crying on TikTok. She has just a beautiful cry face. Nary a snot trail. Her eyes just well up the perfect amount, and just beautiful cry face at all times. Impossible.
She does have a pretty cry face.
It is crazy. The next note that I have, why doesn't she bring people with her when she is going on these escapades? Her husband, a muscular paramedic who could protect her, Professor Payne, not muscular, but an intellectual and still just an extra body.
Uh-huh.
Why does she, like, she'll get a call and like, I need you to be here. I'm trying to find so blah blah. And then she'll just drive out on her own. Which earlier seasons, when it's just the ghosts and they can't harm people, that's one thing. But we are well past the point of one of the ghosts was throwing a chainsaw at someone. We are well past the point of ghosts can harm people. And even if it's not just ghosts harming people, people can harm people, and you're going to talk to a proper person right now. Like, all of this would have been avoided. There was one whole episode where she gets locked in a basement that could have been avoided if she had brought someone with her. And there's so many times where people are like, she's like, oh, I'm going to go deal with this ghost thing. And they're like, do you want me to come with you? And she's like, no, I've got it. It's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not fine. Bring someone with you. And they're like, and she kind of explains a little bit of like, oh, the ghost won't talk to me while you're standing there, but
Mhm.
it's still like, if this ghost has something to say, I feel like this ghost will still say it while there's somebody there. There's no need to put yourself in this amount of danger right now. Just always,
You are just
always
getting
putting
too
herself in
head up
middle
about
danger.
this show.
It is because she's doing silly stuff. Earlier in the show, it's like, okay, you can do silly stuff. You're just talking with spirits and they're floating in the air. Now we have ghosts throwing chainsaws, ghosts knocking over statues to try to kill children. Like, you got locked in a basement by a murderer. Like, you need to bring someone now. We
Yeah.
have gotten to this point where you need to bring someone with you. It's not feasible to do alone anymore.
Yeah.
And then the last point that I have is, why is everyone all of a sudden believing the bad guys? And it feels like for no reason. Like, scenario, Ghost dies. Love is like, I need you to go into the light. Let me help you. And Ghost is like, maybe. And then they disappear for a while, and then they show up again, and Love is like, hey, are you ready to go into the light? I'm trying to help you. And the person's like, they said I shouldn't trust you. Like, okay. And they said I can see my family. Like, okay,
Yeah,
they are
that
not.
gets that starts to get cleared up later in this. I'm gonna leave that alone because number one, I don't want to spoil it for you, but number two, even if I did spoil it for you, I wouldn't explain it right because it's been years since I've watched that. So
I just don't understand what the bad guys are giving them that makes them seem more trustworthy, because it feels literally just like Love says something, bad guy says something, and they just immediately trust the bad guy. It doesn't, because it could have, because they said, oh, they said I shouldn't trust you because they said I'm going to see my family and that you're not going to help me. Love could literally have said the same thing. Like, what makes them more trustworthy than her? It doesn't, because it doesn't feel like this person is giving any extra proof, giving any extra anything. They're just saying, don't help her. She's not gonna help you. Like, trust me, girly. Like, I don't understand.
it's funny. It's funny how because like we watched this as it aired, and I don't remember us really questioning that much a lot of the things that you're questioning. But it's just funny because remember we had the same discussion about Star Wars, where everybody at the time when they watched Star Wars, they were like, "Oh, it was wonderful," and so they have fond memories of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have fond memories of watching this show up to a point, but I don't remember complaining about all this stuff as I was watching it. But you watching it for the first time, you know, it's
And it might be because I'm binging it, so I am seeing these
you know
things
13
connecting.
13 years later, you're watching it and it's like, oh, this is so maybe it's just because, like you said, you're binging it. Because again, when we watched it back then, there was no the closest you could get to binging something was if you got the box set of a TV show on VCR. And we because like that's how we started watching NCIS. We borrowed a box set of the first several seasons from the library and watched watched the episodes over over a weekend or whatever. But that was way before streaming services,
Mm-hmm.
so you couldn't stream stuff. So seeing stuff back to back, you get more of a
More of a complete view of what's going on.
yeah. Yeah, you get more of a complete view. You see it more compressed, so you're more likely to complain about certain things that don't make sense, where it
Mm-hmm.
would not occur to you when you're watching it once a week.
Yeah. Yeah, that I understand. I just, I,
Or even stuff that you like. For instance, your father and I are fans of the newest iteration of The Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
I do not know
And
what that show is either.
and we and I mean, I'm a fan of Equalizer from way back. I didn't watch the movies with Denzel Washington, but I did watch the original TV show that the movies were based on, which had a British white man,
Mm,
but it was also on CBS, and I really enjoyed that show. I can't remember when that aired. I don't know if I watched that with your father or if that was before I met your father, but it
mhm,
was a long time ago. But this is like the second TV version of
mhm.
it, but the third iteration technically because there's a series of movies with Denzel. Anyway, and this is the first time they've had a woman playing the equalizer. And it's basically a show where she used to work for the CIA or some nebulous American agency where she was a spy, and she decided to stop being a spy. She has a 16-year-old daughter and an aunt who lives with her,
Mhm.
and she decided to stop being a spy, and now she wants to do work that is meaningful to her, so she is like a vigilante.
Okay.
She lives in New York, just like the original Equalizer did. She lives in New York and she's a vigilante. She goes, she's got like a anonymous type ad on the Craigslist equivalent,
Mhm.
and people who the police won't help and they can't afford to get a lawyer or whatever, she helps them. Like my father is missing, and the police say that it's been less than 24 hours, and he probably just ran off. But I know he's not like that. Can you please go find him?
Mhm.
Kind of thing, you know. Or my son's being chased by these bullies and blah 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 whatever. So, and Queen Latifah's my age. And
Mhm.
Queen Latifah is not quite my size, but she's not a skinny woman. And so I know the fence post knows that her going and single-handedly kicking ass on all these guys with these, karate kicks and whatever else she does is a wee bit unrealistic,
I mean,
especially when her weave is never out of place.
see that there is where the hitch lies.
At least she wears practical shoes while she's doing it. But so she's not in 6-inch heels or whatever.
Mhm.
But her little tiny Asian woman who's the expert with guns is always wearing high heel boots
Of course.
while she's running and gunning. But again, we love this show.
Mhm.
I don't care how unrealistic it is. And I know somebody who watches it 15 years from now is going to be, how did this get 3 seasons? Why are people watching this? This is ridiculous. But you know what? We're old enough to remember Queen Latifah. We're happy. I'm happy that there's a woman in the role.
Mhm.
Your father is happy that there's a black person in the role. We're just happy to see some representation,
Mhm.
you know, see some black people up on the screen. So we're enjoying the show. And it's fun to watch a show where somebody is kicking butt and taking names, even if it is unrealistic.
Mhm.
You want to see the good guys win.
Yes.
So even if it's unrealistic that they won, you still want to see them win because in real life, they wouldn't win. So sometimes I get tired of everything being how it would be in real life.
Mhm.
That's why people watch sci-fi. You want
Yes.
something different.
That's why I play Dungeons and Dragons, because I can be whoever I want to be.
But sometimes people have trouble suspending their disbelief when it's something that's set, because this is set in modern day New York.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any magic powers. She's not a witch. She's not a whatever. So because it looks like modern day New York, everything is supposed to be like modern day New York.
Mhm.
to some people's minds. And it's like if you could suspend your disbelief about zombies walking around New Orleans in The Walking Dead, then
Exactly.
then let me just believe that Queen Latifah is kicking these guys' butts.
It's so you say that people suspend their disbelief in other things, but the way that people will not suspend their disbelief for fandoms and things that they enjoy, like
Mhm.
whenever they started adding black people to the new Lord of the Rings shows and everybody was all
Uh-huh.
up in arms, I'm like, they are literally elves. Please get over yourself. Please get over
Exactly.
yourself.
Or Haley being the
Yes.
new Little Mermaid. It's like calm down.
Where people are like, actual mermaids are under the water, so they would be super pale. And I'm like, actual mermaids? Actual, show me proof. Show me proof.
Exactly. Exactly. And have you not heard of a rainbow trout?
Exactly. Like,
A
come
a
on.
rainbow trout's not pale. But anyway,
Yeah. But yes, so I've gotten through season 2. Chloe, this is a note for you later. Maybe throw just like a big spoiler alert up on the screen while I'm talking about this. This is gonna be the last thing I say
oh,
though.
she's not going to edit this.
I believe in you, Chloe. Um the I just finished season 2, so the big because oh no, the wasps are out again. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my
Are they
window over
in your
here.
house?
No, they're not in my house yet,
Okay, good.
but I saw one clinging to my window. Um, but the way that they did the big season 2 wrap up was where she was going to. This is like to put you in a place where you can maybe sort of figure out where I am in the show,
Mhm.
but she like was trying to figure out this big mystery that was going on, and they're sending me the signs and I don't know what it is. And then she like they're having the vigil ceremony for the big plane crash that happened, and the 4
Mhm.
kids are like walking in the ceremony, and the bad spirits are like about to knock over this commencement statue. Chloe is working on editing right now, so thank you, Chloe. But so they're working, they've got this big commencement statue, and the evil spirits are like knocking over the commencement statue, and they're about to kill the 4 kids. And then Love runs in and like knocks all these 4 kids out of the way. And then she like looks at one of the little girls and she's like, see, it's okay. I helped you. I helped you. And the little girl's like, I'm so sorry. This is what I saw. And then Love turns around and she sees her own dead body, and her dead body is laying there on the ground. And then she, and she sees the light in front of her, but someone's standing there, and she's like, no, I'm not ready. It's not my time. But she would say it more like this: no, I'm not ready. It's not my time. Because she speaks in a whisper voice all the time. No, I'm
Uh-huh.
not ready. It's not my time. And then the shadow is like, I think it's time that you meet your brother. And then she like wakes up and she's like, it wasn't about me saving them. It was about them saving me. And then Jim is like, what do you mean? What's going on? She's like, I think I have a brother. And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, he told me that I have a brother. And Jim's like, who told you? And she's like, my father. Dun dun dun. And it's the end of the episode. And you think that you think that I'm over exaggerating?
I remember none of this, but I know you're
Yeah,
not over exaggerating.
exactly. Because I just watched that last episode this morning before I went to bed. All of that dialogue was so close to on point. I promise you. So that is what happened. That was the last
See,
episode that I
you're
watched.
making me want to go back and watch it, but I have so many things that I do not have. There's so much, like I never finished watching Call the Midwife. I am at least 3 seasons
Mm,
behind on Call the Midwife. And I enjoyed that show. But it's like it got to an end point and I watched the season finale on one season where somebody died and I just never went back and picked it up.
mhm.
And I don't know. I have this thing where there's things that I like and I know I'm going to like them, so I put off
Yes.
the whole delayed gratification thing. I put off watching them or dealing with them. And just like with my video games that you guys got me for Mother's Day, I still haven't played the big ones yet, but I've played the little ones.
Mhm.
Okay, Snake in the Grass.
What is this?
Just briefly. This is what you, this is why I put off watching good stuff because we watch trash.
Mm,
We are watching Snake in the Grass, which is like like Traitors meet Survivor light.
okay.
Okay? It's on Peacock. Apparently it only got one season, I think, because I think this was from 2022. But it's hosted by Bobby Bones, who is a country music DJ from Nashville. Um, but he, for some reason, when he was on Dancing with the Stars, he got more popular and he got other jobs doing other stuff now. Anyway, he it's four people who are vying for $100,000, and but one person is the snake, and so it's traders, um, Trader Survivor, and what's that show where they cook, but there's a traitor in the kitchen?
Oh, I've heard you talking about this show, but I've never watched it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that vibe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because one person is the traitor, and so they're trying to sabotage all the rat in the kitchen.
Mm.
They're trying to the rat in the kitchen part is that the one person, one trade bleh.
Run that back.
The survivor part is that they're in the jungle in Mexico doing different challenges, like trying to go up this cliff to look at this puzzle to try to, like, the puzzle's up on this cliff, so you got to look at the cliff and then you got to come back down and make it match this other puzzle over here, kind of
Okay.
thing. You know, where they're on a tightrope high wire thing, those kind of things. Or you have to climb up a tree. The last episode we watched, you have to climb up a tree to get the bag that's at the top, and all these things are timed. But
Of
yeah,
course.
but the rungs of the ladder are hidden in the jungle around
Oh,
the tree. So you have to go find the rungs of the ladder and then notch them into the tree and then climb up to the top all within like 20 minutes.
I don't know if I would trust the ladder that I built myself, honestly.
So those things are like Survivor to me. The traders part is there is, one snake and three non-snakes, and if you guys vote at the end, if the snake gets the most votes, then the other three people split the money, so it's $33,000 each.
Hmm.
If you guys can't agree and the snake does not get the most votes, then the snake wins the money.
Okay.
So they get to have all the money for themselves, which is a little bit like traders,
Yeah.
and they have that same structure on Rat in the Kitchen.
Okay.
If you don't vote and find out who the snake is, then the snake gets to keep all the money.
Hmm.
And the Rat in the Kitchen aspect is that the snake is actively trying to sabotage things in the challenges that you're doing, and they at the end they recall, well, yeah, I did this to try to slow y'all down and I did that to try to slow you down, which is what they do on Rat in the Kitchen. They tell you how the snake was trying to slow people down.
Mm.
And it's kind of an interesting show. It's the kind of thing though where, and what you're doing is on each of the challenges, what you're trying to do is get a clue to help you figure out. The clue is like a poem to help you figure out who the person is.
Hmm.
Like you'll get a clue that says, okay, the snake played sports in high school. They say it more poetically than that, but basically it comes out the snake played sports in high school, or the snake's been to Africa and has been married before, or whatever. And then so then everybody starts talking to each other, and the snake's either lying to you or not. you
Yeah.
know but it's like it, without commercials it ends up being like 48 minutes, whatever.
Okay.
it's it just feels like, because the challenges they come up with are really creative, but it feels like it should be a longer show. It feels like,
Is so is it a different set of people every episode, or is it like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, see, I was
It
thinking it was like Traders where there's the same set of people over the season.
no, it's like Rat in the Kitchen where at the end of the episode you vote. There's like two challenges and then you vote.
Yeah, it,
So they're only there in the woods for like really one night. It's like 2 days, one night. Because they're there the first day, they have one challenge. They go back to camp and sleep or whatever. Then the next day they have a challenge, and then that night they vote and go home.
yeah, they definitely could have stretched that.
So it feels like it should be a longer show. It feels like you should be dealing with these same contestants for at least 2 or 3 episodes before you
Mm,
give away $100,000.
yeah,
That's another reason why I think this show probably didn't get um picked up, because that's
I
a lot
was.
of money. That's a lot of money to give out every episode.
Oh, did they can't like they haven't gotten picked up for another season yet,
I'm
or
assuming
period?
I never saw it on regular TV, so I'm wondering if this was just like a Peacock only show.
Hmm.
'Cause I never saw it on regular TV, and I think the date on it said it was. Let me go over to this other computer. Said it was 2000. It said it was 2022. I think I'm not 100%.
Oh, so they could still get picked up, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they're still just filming the stuff.
Yes, it's 2022.
So they could get picked up for another season. And based on how all of these producers are keeping money from what they're saying in the writer's strike, they probably have the money to throw away.
Yeah, it was on USA Network. That's why I probably never saw it, because I haven't seen anything on USA Network since I watched Royal Pains, which was many years ago.
Hmm.
Um and so it first aired in August of last year. So yeah, there's time that they could pick it up if they really wanted to, because it was August of last year. So let's see. Uh, nope. On March 1st of this year, USA Network canceled the series after one season.
Dang. It went the way of Who Done It. I will never stop talking about that show.
I
I
know.
loved that show so much.
It had 8 episodes. And I mean, it was okay, but like I said, it feels like it should have
They should have
um
kept the same people longer.
yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
feels like
I
it kept the same people
maybe
longer.
if they done like 2 episodes per group of people, like if they wanted to have more groups of people, if they done like 2 episodes per groups of people, because it is like the draw for some of these shows like Traders and stuff like that is my mouth is watering like crazy, is that you like get to know the people and so
Uh-huh.
you like attach yourself to people, whereas that is hard to do in one episode.
Yes, exactly. It was hard to really judge people and go, okay, are they the traitor or are they not the traitor?
Hmm.
Okay. We it we have been on here for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We are going to make a call here. Are we going to wrap this up, or did you want to go ahead and go through what we've been playing before we wrap this up?
Well,
If
I have not been playing anything. Where's my phone?
Because if we're going to do what we've been playing, I've got to go to the bathroom first.
Oh, that means
I
that I've got
I
to vamp.
I cannot hold it another second unless we are going to
Okay, you go
end
ahead.
this. Okay.
And I will vamp, and maybe Chloe in the chat will talk back to me, or Darlene if she's still there. Oh no, I'm on the big screen. What do I do? So I am currently working on another bandana. These work up so fast. I started this sitting here. I finished another one and I held that one up and then talked for a little while and then started this one. They work up so fast and I'm enjoying this variegated yarn. It's very cute. Unfortunately, I got it from Homophobic Hobby Lobby. It is, I love this yarn. Um, but I think I'm going to make some more of these because I've got all of the rainbow yarn that I originally got to make the pride bags, and I did make a few pride bags, but now I don't have quite enough yarn to make the pride bags all like all of the even colors or whatever. And I hate trying to choose colors for things. And so I think I'm going to make just a bunch of solid color bandanas and throw them on the table because these sold pretty well. I just need to make more of them. I think that's part of my problem for markets is I will make a few of a thing and then move on to another thing so I can have a variety of things on the table, but then I never want to go back to the other thing, which is my curse apparently. I am like my mother. But I am very much enjoying making these. I'm also looking at making, which I've wanted to make for a while because I do farmers markets and stuff, and people are always selling like plants and plant starts and things. And so I want to make some little like faux plants, like crochet little faux plants for people like me who don't have the energy to keep plants alive. And so then you can just have your little fake plants sitting there that were handmade and cute and squishy. But that would involve more green yarn than I have because I don't have, well, I've got some green yarn. I would just need to find some brown for the dirt, which I know that I don't have. So I got to figure that out. Oh my goodness. And then what was the other thing I wanted to make? I was looking at something. There were amigurumis. What was I looking at? Do not recall. On another subject, because we were talking about Ghost Whisperer earlier, and I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about it, but we tangented on. I am really enjoying going back and watching all of these old, like not old, but like all of these older like fantasy shows or like realistic fantasy shows. Like I went when what's it called? When The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was coming out, I went and watched the entirety of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that show, and really enjoyed it. And then I watched like 2 episodes of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it was just not for me, which is unfortunate. But now I'm watching Ghost Whisperer, and I'm thinking I might just go back and watch all of the shows from that kind of era of fantasy shows. Like I'm thinking I definitely want to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer when it came out, and so because I was just a little young. But I'm thinking I might go watch that one. But that one feels a bit more serious. Whereas Ghost Whisperer is getting serious, but started off fairly light and whimsical. So we'll see. I also want to watch Charmed, which my mom and dad loved Charmed. They watched so much of it, and I remember them watching it when I was younger. So I definitely want to watch at least some of that, see how I feel. I started, this is a show, but a movie. I started watching Practical Magic, and I'm like, this is absolutely my vibe, and I'm enjoying it. And then for some reason, I never finished it. I think I got interrupted partway through the movie and then never got to finish it. So I definitely need to go back and finish watching that. If you guys have any suggestions for like fantasy shows within that time period, like the early 2000s, let me know. Because the only few that I can think of right now, there was like Ghost Whisperer, Charmed, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There was, I think Angel was a spinoff of Buffy.
Yes, Angel was a spinoff.
I do not know very well. Oop, is this my mother returning?
Yes, Angel was a spinoff of Buffy.
Nice. Also, if you have any suggestion, I was just telling the people I'm enjoying going back. I watched the entirety of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and now I'm watching Ghost Whisperer, and I'm enjoying this, like watching these early 2000s fantasy shows. And so I want to go back and watch Charmed and Buffy because I never watched those.
When you mentioned Ghost Whisperer last week, I was trying to see if Joan of Arcadia was anywhere for you to watch streaming, and I could not find
Couldn't find it. Dang.
If I could find Joan of Arcadia, that only lasted 2 seasons, but that was a favorite of ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll see. I'll try to look it up myself too and see if I can find it, because I don't know anything about that one. What is that about?
Joan of Arcadia was a family sitcom, not sitcom. It was a family drama where the um teenage daughter of the family, let me let me find the synopsis because I'm not going to explain it well. A drama about a typical family facing atypical situations, not the least of which is their teenage daughter's sudden, unexpected conversations with God, who pops up in such random forms as a cute boy or the school lunch lady.
Okay. That sounds like my vibe. I'd watch it.
And God gives her all these different assignments that don't make sense at first, but then they apply to different stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look for it and see if I can find it. Anybody in the chat, if y'all find somewhere to watch it that's not that has not fallen off the back of a truck, as they say.
Yeah, I don't know where you could watch this. I think it's on, you might have to borrow it from the library if you can find it,
Borrow it from the library. Oh my goodness.
but okay. So, I want to get us to a clean slate. That's why I said ran to the restroom so we could wrap this up. So, have you been playing anything this week?
Other than D&D, I have not.
You have
Not that
not
I
played
can think
anything?
of.
Well, as I was saying before, I have this thing with delayed gratification, which means like the good games. Like I have access to Spiritfarer through my Netflix subscription, but I still have not installed it on my iPad.
That game is so slow moving. Install it now. Start playing it right now. I started playing Spiritfarer. I like it, but that is definitely a slow moving game. Install it now.
So did you get it through your through the
Game
Netflix?
Pass.
Oh, you got it from Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass. And I played like hours of that game and feel like I got through maybe the first tiny section. Like I feel like I did not get very far. And it is just very it's like the definition of slow cozy casual game.
Yeah,
It
well,
is so fun.
Netflix has Spiritfarer, Netflix has Oxenfree, and
Love Oxenfree.
they've got the exclusive for Oxenfree 2, which is going to come out later this year.
Ooh.
Um,
Why are we talking about this? Netflix has all this stuff and they're about to charge us $3,000. Well, does that include the games?
well, I think if you get the 7.99 with ads, you can still get the games.
But that's me paying $8 for games I didn't have to pay before.
I know, I know, I know. Um, but yeah, because I put off my and I still haven't finished the game that shall not be named,
Mm,
which you hate me mentioning. But I mean I downloaded the update with the fantastic animals or whatever they call it, and there's some more story attached to that, but I just haven't worked myself through it because like animals.
I do not understand your aversion to. I understand your aversion to real life animals because they're a lot to take care of, a lot to deal with. I do not understand your aversion to virtual animals.
Actually, the animals in Wildflowers are really cute. Wildflowers is the game I'm talking about, people, just in case you haven't been here before. The animals in Wildflowers are really cute, and the new animals that they're adding are also probably really cute. But I think I'm resistant to how crazy everybody else is going over animals.
Mm.
Like every gaming stream I watch, if there is a cat they try out a new game and there's a cat, everybody's like, "Oh, there's a cat. Can I pet the cat? Can I pet the cat?" Oh my god, calm down.
It's cute.
I mean, the only reason I deal with cats in video games is because I like those hidden object games and they all seem to have cats. So, in the building with cats or whatever the game is that you guys bought me, the first three iterations of, eh, you know, I'm just finding the cats, but I don't really care about cats. I don't care about animals. I'm not that crazy about, oh, finally I get to have a pet in the game. Oh, finally I get to raise alpacas in the game. I don't care.
You are to animals as Isaac is to children.
Exactly. I don't care. But rather than play all those games, the big games that I keep saying I'm holding on to my Apple Arcade and whatever to play, instead, I spend my time playing trashy, or as I put on my list, so mobile games.
So, what so mobile game have you been playing this time?
Okay, so this is a quick run through. Country Friends lasted exactly 15 minutes. As soon it's a Netflix game, it's a Netflix farming game. It seems to be the only farming game out of the games that Netflix has added to their roster. But I can tell it's pretty much like Heyday. I don't know if you ever played that back in the day,
I don't think
but
so.
it's like it has no story whatsoever. It has, it has all the elements that you expect. It has the plot of land where you can um grow the wheat or the corn or whatever. It has then you can buy the machine that turns the corn into feed to feed the cows or the pigs. And then you can buy the little bakery machine to turn the wheat into flour and make the bread. And then, then there's a notice board where all the people in town say, "Hey, I'd like 2 loaves of bread and I'll give you $5."
Hmm.
It has all of that, but there's no story. It just drops you in the middle of, here's how to plant your stuff, here's how to buy your machines, here's how to make your bread, and here's the notice board. Have fun. So as soon as I realized there was no story, deleted it right off
Mm,
my thing.
I figured.
Because I've played enough of these. I mean, 5 years ago, I probably would have played that game a little longer. I had Heyday on my iPad, and I did play Heyday for a couple months actually. But I nowadays I'm spoiled. I want there to be a story, as well as whether it's a farming game, whether it's a match 3 game, whether it's a merge game. I want there to be a story in between me matching those jewels or merging those coffee cups or whatever I'm doing.
Mm,
I want there to be a story in between. I want there to be a reason for why I'm building the building or whatever. So Country Friends did not last long. Farm Side is about to get deleted for a similar reason. Farm Side is a farming game on Apple Arcade.
okay.
It is should I be showing you these games?
I mean, if you're deleting them, it'll be fine.
But
You can you can put the link.
Farm Side I actually played for a few weeks. And it
It.
I'm making notes. Farmside I actually played for a few weeks and I enjoyed it because it did have, even if the story is thin, at least pretend you got a story so I have a reason to do something. And that's the case with Farmside. The story is thin. You got the brother who delivers the stuff from the you it's the traditional thing of grandpa left you the farm.
Okay.
Okay. But you've got the 2 brothers, one who owns the general store where you go buy your seeds and all your stuff, and then the other brother who delivers all the orders that you fulfill off the order board. Okay. But those 2, there's the little story back and forth. They don't get along because the one brother says you should come work in the store because who wants stuff delivered anyway, and the other brother is like, well, it helps people if I deliver stuff. Why should I stay in the store when it helps people for me to deliver stuff? So they argue back and forth about that.
Hmm.
You have the veterinarian who doesn't like people and barely trusts you with animals because are you going to take care of these animals? Because I don't trust people.
That sounds like one of the best that I know in real life, and we do not go to him anymore. It makes me so
and
uncomfortable.
and the little sprightly girl who teaches you how to use all your cooking machines, and she works in the restaurant, but the grandfather won't let her um put her own recipes on the menu. And then there's the mayor of the town who's delusional and thinks he is the marquis of whatever whatever, or
Mm.
earl of whatever whatever, and so he thinks that you are lord whatever whatever. But so, just little bits of story like that. The And the customization was really cool of how to customize your character. So
Okay.
yeah, I played that for a little bit, but then it's like it's kind of run out of story. I'm at level 32. I can't use open up my last machine, which is a coffee machine, till I get to level 35. But there are no more, it's not giving me any quests anymore. Part of the way I leveled up was I would fulfill these different quests, and there was a little bit of story with each quest. But now I finished the last quest. I still have 3 levels to try to get to my coffee machine. There's no more quests. There's no more story screens.
Hmm.
So I've kind of lost interest.
And you don't think it's going to be like what were you playing, Diner Dash, where you like you it was kind of the same thing for a while, and then all of a sudden you started getting new
That's
information?
that's the only reason I haven't deleted it, because what she's talking about, people, is that when I played Diner Dash, I adopted Diner Dash Adventures. Like, I got an email because I had been playing Cooking Dash, I guess. That's why I got the email. But I got the email as soon as Diner Dash Adventures came out. And so I downloaded it like the same day and started playing it right away. And I was playing it every day to the point where I finished the levels. This is one of those mobile games where they constantly update for like holidays and different things like that. And I finished all the levels before they finished more, before they added more content. So they sent out, they had a little pop up in that game that said, well, you finished all the content for now, but we are working on more content. So just be patient with us and, build up your town or whatever till we get to you. But this game hasn't said anything like that.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if it's partly because Diner Dash Adventures was a game where it's one of those free to play games where they're always trying to get you to buy jewels and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
they don't want you to go away. They're trying to keep you sweet, as they say,
Yeah.
so that you don't forget about them when they have new content. Whereas Farmside is part of Apple Arcade, so there's no buying
So they
jewels,
got your money.
there's no ads. They've already got you. So it doesn't matter if you go anywhere or not. So, and my iPad has limited space, so I am thinking about
Just dropping it.
deleting it, but then I'm scared if I delete, because some games, if I delete them and then I reinstall them, my progress is still there. Other games, I delete them and my progress is gone, and I'd have to start all over.
Ah, I see what you mean.
And if they're going to add new content, I enjoyed this game enough that I enjoy it in a meditative way. Like,
Mhm.
whenever I open it up, I know I'm going to end up spending 30 minutes making butter and feeding the cow and, clearing off the beach and harvesting my trees and all that stuff. There's just something meditative about it, where not all games can manage this, even though there's games that have similar mechanics of planting stuff and harvesting and all that. Not all games have the graphics and the mechanics that work together in such a way that it just feels like a meditative thing for me to just sit there and I keep going, well, just one more thing, just one more thing, just one more thing.
Mhm.
So so there's that. The next game I downloaded, which I'm still on the fence about, but it's also a little bit of a meditative thing, which is Puzzle Villa.
What is Puzzle Villa?
It's another one of those games where it's what's the words I want to say?
I have no idea in this situation. Usually I can guess where you're going. I have no clue.
Puzzlevilla is one of those games where
Is it a merge game? Is it a
no,
find it
where
game?
there is story, but they what am I trying to say? Gosh,
What are you trying to say?
my
You've
brain.
given me nothing to go on.
It's kind of like so many of the other games where you play where there's some sort of puzzle thing that you do, and then in between the puzzle there's a little bit of story, and then you go do more puzzle. So it's either, like um Lily's Garden where you're doing match 3 and then
Hmm.
there's more story, or Love and Pies where you're doing merge and then there's more story, or
Okay.
Merge Mansion or something like that. It's one of those kind of things.
Is
But
there a
this
name
one,
for that genre of game?
I don't know.
I wish there was. That would make this so much easier.
But this one is I'm trying to get to a point where you can see what I'm talking about. This one is the jigsaw puzzles.
Okay. Fun.
Jigsaw puzzles. And I like doing jigsaw I like doing jigsaw puzzles in person, quite honestly, but I really like doing them on so it's a combination. Can you see that?
Yes. I'm trying to see what's going on.
Okay, let's see. It's a combination of let me back that up. Okay. Okay, there we go. It's a combination of you play the puzzles give you coins, and then you use those coins to try to fix the place where you're staying.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's a little bit of story. The thin story on this one is that this woman, not the one in purple, but the other one with the brown hair,
Hmm.
she's gone to Italy to be I think in the beginning her boyfriend broke up with her or something, or left her at the altar or some crazy thing. You know how those ads are where they're always crying
Yes.
over some man, right? And then so to get over him, she got into jigsaw puzzles, and she
Okay.
got really good at them. So now she's been invited to the jigsaw puzzle like
World
international,
Championship?
yeah, world championship or international tournament or whatever in Italy or in Spain, because she speaks Spanish all the time. And so she's all the places are filled up. So she's staying with this lady, Valentina, and she's staying at this villa, but the villa is trashed.
Okay.
And so every time you do a puzzle, the whole thing is, oh, well, I'll help you fix up the villa. Okay. But so you have to do puzzles to get the money to
To
help
buy the
fix up
stuff to fix the
to
villa.
buy the stuff to fix the villa while you're waiting for her while you're waiting for the check. Because where I am in the game, the competition hadn't started yet. I just got to the house
Hmm.
and I'm doing puzzles and getting money so I can fix up the first room. I'm still in the first room that they showed on the thing.
Hmm.
So I'm still fixing up the first room. But it's like the puzzles are not you see the size of this puzzle.
Yes.
They have puzzles that have more pieces. They have puzzles with like, but they start you out with like the 35-piece puzzles or whatever. And that's just enough to be like relaxing
Hmm.
for me. And so I haven't taken it off. This is the kind of game. That's why I say um that's why I say so mobile games, because there's nothing special about this game. This other jigsaw puzzle, I could just do flat jigsaw puzzles. They've got a whole jigsaw puzzle app on Apple Arcade that I can
Hmm.
do without dealing with the ads at all. It's just jigsaw puzzles if I really want to do jigsaw puzzles.
But
But
there's that little bit of story.
yeah, there's that little bit of combination of do the puzzle, earn your money, and then go fix up something,
Mm-hmm.
and then get a little chunk of story. Which is the same thing in Merge Mansion. Now that I've gotten to a certain level in Merge Mansion, because I told you about Merge Mansion, it was to a point where all I'm doing was merging, 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 but I wasn't getting any story.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I got to level 35 or something, and all of a sudden, all the stories hitting me in my face. But I didn't get any of the previous story that people had talked about in the videos that they got when they played it. So I'm like, how did I miss all this story? So it's like I jumped in the middle of the story, which is kind of annoying, but
Yeah.
I'm moving on because I've already played Merge Mansion for over a year.
Mm,
I play Merge Mansion at least 5 days out of 7 for over a year.
goodness.
Because that's one of those games where it really is relaxing to me right before
Hmm.
bed to do, to just do the little merging stuff. Which leads to this new merge game, which, the algorithm knows me and knows I like merge games, and it recommends all kinds of merge games to me, and most of them are trash. But this one that just came out seems to I don't know how to describe it. There's just something about it that I like more than the other ones. And it's called Merge Survival Wasteland.
This feels like
And
a bunch of words thrown together. What?
let me see if I can get a good um
Merge Survival Wasteland.
get a good video. Okay. So basically, you are a person who you're a person who you see you've woken up in this wasteland. You see your bus coming up,
Hmm.
see your van coming up. Okay. And you had somebody that you were traveling with named Liam, but for some reason he's gone.
Ooh,
Okay.
mystery.
And for some reason the air is real thin where you are. You see everything's dirt and trash and whatever.
Hmm.
So your character, her name is Eden. You pull up to this place and there's one little plant. You see the little plant?
Yep.
There's one little plant, and for some reason there's some magic about this plant because she can breathe better in that area where that plant is. So she decides
Because that's how plants work.
that's how plants work. So yeah, but what that little plant would be enough to come on, there's some magic going on.
Okay.
So she's like, well, I'm gonna stop here because this little plant, I can breathe here. This looks good, and I'm out of sight of the raiders, whoever the raiders are. Okay. So, but first, so then you gotta merge things to um build the thing to
Grow the plant.
no, what's the thing? The water. You got to clean the water.
Mm.
You got to clean. You know how you have the things where you got to clean
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water.
Water
You
filters
know,
and stuff.
and you got to process your. So you're literally matching bubbles first to have oxygen so you can breathe.
Okay.
Okay, because somehow you're capturing the oxygen from the plant for I don't know if you're putting it in a mask or what you're doing. But so the things that you merge in this game are like bubbles of oxygen and tools to help you clean up the area, and then you start building a fence. Although the fence is pitiful. I don't know how the fence is pitiful. I don't see how that fence is good. That fence doesn't even look like it's higher than the van. How it's
Ooh.
going to protect you. But then and then there's also this map where you can go out to other parts of the area. Like there was a farmhouse down the road, so you can kind of go out there and scavenge and see if there's anything there, anything left there, and go to
Hmm.
the market and see if there's anything left there. And you're living off of expired ramen,
Ooh.
and you're trying to distill the water from this puddle that's over there by the van, and you find and then you find this patch of this garden that still has a little bit of a plant left in it. So you're nurturing this plant and hoping this plant is potatoes so you can have something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like it just it's more this game is more forthcoming with the story.
Yeah. It feels like what you're doing is actually affecting the story as opposed to
Yeah.
like, let's put two shopping bags together.
Yes. It's more forthcoming about the story and you're finding more survivors as you go. It reminds me a little bit of Love and Pies in the way that it has more story to it
Mm-hmm.
than, like every time you merge stuff you get a little bit more story where, instead of Merge Mansion where I wasn't getting much story at first.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that and I like that cuz as you go along, each day the magic plant starts to spread its greenness around a little bit. So it's not all just dirt and mud everywhere. And and it makes sense the way the resource management is in this game kind of makes sense because like the water is the hardest thing to get in this game.
Yeah.
So you have to really wait to get the water. And you have to find wood and a lighter every time you want to light up the distiller thing to distill another cup of water.
Mm.
And you have to merge your cups of water together to make a pan of water so that you can water the plants.
Yeah. So it feels like stuff
So
that actually logically would make a little sense as
yes.
opposed to just arbitrary things put together.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's, again, it's a merge game. I really don't need to be playing merge games,
I mean, that one looks pretty interesting, honestly.
but well, it's on Android and iOS. And I think it might be on PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I think there's another. It's Merge Survival Wasteland. I'll put the link down in the show notes because there's another one that's about zombies
Okay.
with a similar name. And I'm not about doing the zombies.
Oh, speaking of zombies, I meant to mention this a while back because I did this like weeks and weeks ago while we're talking about game stuff. So I still have Zombies Run. I still pay for Zombies Run, even though I don't use it as often as I should, but it's only like $4 or something.
What do
Um,
you mean $4? You bought that ages ago. Did you buy like a monthly subscription to it?
Mother, we have had this conversation.
No, we haven't. Did you buy a
When
month?
when I bought Zombies Run originally, it was $8, but I
Mhm.
bought it on an iOS device that I
Mhm.
no longer remember the ID
So you
for.
so you rebought it. I remember that. But you're talking like you're paying a monthly subscription.
Yes, that's what it is. When I rebought it, they no longer let you buy the game outright. It is monthly subscriptions now.
Oh,
It's
okay.
$4 a month. But they've got so much stuff. First of all, they've got like 5 seasons of the original Zombies Run
Mhm.
story. Um,
Yeah, I get the email, so I know that they've got all these different adventures and stuff like that.
yeah,
I have yet to try it though.
well, I played one of the other ones because I've been playing. Every time go back to use the app, I play the original Zombies Run. But I was like, let me check out one of these other like short stories, and I played one, and it was so cute and funny because you remember we've had this conversation multiple times of how I want to listen to podcasts or listen to stories and just have my own music sprinkled about, and that is what Zombies Run is. I can't pick my own podcast, but there are interesting stories, and then have my
Mhm.
own music throughout, and
Mhm.
so I listened to one of them. I can't remember what it was called, but it was one of the fantasy ones because I was like, let me try out one of the fantasy ones. And I think I got bit by a mosquito. Oh my goodness. But it was so funny. So you are basically an actor at like a Renaissance fair and you're playing like peasant number 5 or something, and
Mhm.
you go to do this Renaissance fair, and the script for the show is like super stale, but the owner doesn't want to change it because it was like he thinks it's the best thing he's ever written or whatever. And then all of a sudden all the lights start flickering and stuff, and you go downstairs, and this like magic portal opens in the basement, and two wizards from some other dimension show up, but they think that everything here is real, so they think that like the fake wizards are real wizards, and they're like fighting each other, and so you and another one of the other actors has to try to go and like convince them to stop fighting so they don't like kill everybody else in the
Uh-huh.
Renaissance fair. And they're like, what manner of wizard are you? And they're like, I am an ice wizard, totally. Like trying to play it off so that the people, so that the actual wizards don't get upset.
Mhm.
It was funny. It was a cute little one. I enjoyed it.
So you can probably answer this question for me. When you do the adventures, because this is what I was trying to figure out the other day. I did a
Mm-hmm.
search because every few months or so, I'm like, I'm a legacy holder of this game,
Mm-hmm.
so I really don't have to pay the monthly fee or whatever. So let me jump back into this, but I'm really not interested in zombies. I like the idea in general of the app, but I'm not interested in zombies. But they have all these other adventures. But if you listen to the other adventures, are you just listening to a story, or
You
is there any interactive aspect to it at all? Because like with Zombies Run, for those who are not familiar with the app, it is an app to try to get you to exercise, and it's a story about the zombie apocalypse. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And the conceit in the main game is that you are a character called Runner 5, and you're going out to different places in the area to try to see if you can pick up things that can be used in the main camp where the survivors have gathered. Okay. But while you're out there, every once in a while, and so while you're out there, what you're hearing in your headphones is the radio DJ for the settlement, and that's where your real music gets added in from your Spotify playlist or whatever is the music that's supposedly on the radio station. But then after a certain point, you get zombies that start chasing you, and you're supposed to run faster, and it uses the um what's that gyroscope or whatever
Yeah,
in your phone
or your GPS, depending on how you've
to
got it.
register that you've run faster and that you've outrun the zombies. Part of the reason, two reasons I stopped using it was A, I'm not particularly interested in zombie stories, and B, I am not a runner, so I could never move fast enough to trigger the zombies to chase me. So there was no interactive element to it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering, with the adventure stories that they've added in, is there any kind of interactive element like that, or are you just listening to a story?
So I normally listen to Zombies Run when I'm doing jobs that I know this mosquito bite is killing me. I normally listen to Zombies Run when I am doing jobs that I know I'm going to be walking around a lot for. So I would listen to it while I was at McDonald's working, doing the biscuits because I was just
So
constantly
you're
walking
listening
around.
to it for the story.
Yeah, I'm mostly listening to it for the story. I keep the zombie chases turned off, which I kept them turned off before when I was walking too, because I also am not a runner. I don't feel like running. But there is the interactive element of you picking up items that you add to your camp, and they do still have that in the fantasy stories too. They have that in the other stories, but the items that you are picking up are still for your zombie base camp. So
Mhm.
they don't have like a separate base camp because the zombie story is the overarching running story.
Mhm.
And so none of the other stories have these long campaigns that I know of. None of the other stories have these long campaigns. So they are like stories to listen to something different, but you're still picking up items. I'm about to open it up right now. You're still picking up items for the main zombie base camp because that is the main
But I mean,
story.
like, do you still have zombies chasing you while you're at the Renaissance Fair? What?
I don't know what they say for that one because, like I said, I keep my zombie chases turned off, and so I don't know if she says like zombies approaching because it's like a little computer voice, and she's like zombies approaching or zombies nearby or something. But I've kept mine off for so long, I don't know if she says anything. I might try that because I was planning on going on a
Well,
walk
yeah,
sometime soon.
try that and let me know what happens.
Hmm. And then they also, oh, the one that I listened to, it's called. Wait, let me check. Yeah, the one that I listened to is called Spellcast. and it's just two wizards show up and they're having a fight. So, but they also have, like, for anybody interested in Zombies Run, so they've got the main story, which is you are someone who's come to this base camp to help these people. You are replacing their old runner 5, and you are the runners are the ones who go out because they're fast. They go out, gather supplies, and bring them back to Able Township. But there's also they have like fantasy ones. They've got alternate universe versions of the Zombies Run ones. There's and then there's like home workouts that you can do, which have different stories. They've got like interval training and stuff like
Well,
that.
they've got a Marvel one coming out
Yeah,
soon.
I'm seeing that right now. Marvel Move,
Yeah, they've got a Marvel one coming out soon,
and I
which
don't know what that is.
I don't know if I'd be interested in that. And then they do have the walking one that they made with the NHS ages ago, and I never really tried. I mean, I've downloaded it more than once. It's free. I've downloaded more than once. I've never really
That one just doesn't sound interesting to me.
with the spies.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that one just for some reason, like the zombie stories sound interesting to me, and then all the stories that they have in the Zombies Run app sound interesting to me. The walking one, for some reason, the story that they have there just does not sound interesting to me.
Yeah, the interactivity is different in that one, so I never really
Mm,
got into that one. So I'm still searching for something that makes me want to walk or makes me want to exercise. That gamifies the exercise basically.
yeah, I don't
And
really need a game. I just need something to distract me. Because the game, like, if I'm doing some sort of like workout or something, then I would like something gamified. But if I'm walking, I just want something to distract me from the fact that my legs are moving.
mhm.
So if I'm listening to a story or something, that is enough. And I just want my story to be sprinkled with my own music. Just like I want my podcast to be sprinkled with my own music, but Spotify has yet to do that. They just want to give me 700 ads.
Okay, so we have covered everything that we are playing. Do you want to talk about the Starbucks drink before it's no longer news, and then we can get out of here?
It is already no longer news. It feels so old at this point. I like, and I forgot what I was going to say about it previously, other than the fact that it's so silly. They have this new Starbucks drink with like olive oil in it or
Mhm,
something that's supposed to make it taste more like rich or smooth or something. But one,
mhm,
it looks nasty. I've seen
mhm.
people opening, like, they open their lids and you can see just like oil kind of congealed on top, and it just
Yeah,
it
because the problem is that they're trying to use it with iced coffee because there's been this thing called butter coffee that the keto people
yes.
do for years, but they do that in hot coffee. So you put the butter in your hot coffee, and it just melts right in there. But they're trying to do this oleo thing is what I think they call it in
Hmm.
iced coffee, and as soon as you put the olive oil in there, it just congeals up like Crisco,
Yeah.
and and you got these big chunks of grease, that look like lard or something in your coffee. It's
And
great.
also, it's giving people the shits, which is hilarious.
Bad language.
It is so funny. It's giving people diarrhea because everybody's like, "Oh, this drink tastes so." The people who get past the ew, there's oil on the top of my drink. They'll, because when people get
They'll
a Starbucks
down it.
drink, they're not drinking like one Starbucks drink. Starbucks people like Starbucks, and so they're drinking a bunch of Starbucks drinks, and so they'll like get a bunch of these and drink them, which means they're just consuming copious amounts of olive oil,
Mhm.
and it's giving them the poops.
Yeah, Starbucks has never been a thing that I've had an issue with because I never thought their coffee was sweet enough for me. So it's not like I want to go treat myself to Starbucks because their coffee's not sweet enough.
Oh, I
I'd
definitely tell them
I'd
to add
rather
extra
go
syrups and stuff.
I'd rather go to you know, I mean, we're not a big city, but we have
Local
our
coffee shops.
yeah, we have our share of local coffee shops here and there, and I get a sweeter coffee at a local coffee shop
Hmm.
than I do at a Starbucks, probably because we're in the South, and if we drink our tea sweet, of course we're gonna drink our coffee sweet. So
Mm-hmm.
But well, we have been here for 3.5 hours.
We
We
have.
have cleared our list, which is a good thing because we're about to go into the 3-day weekend. Which, like I tell people all the time, somebody asked me the other day, you got plans for the Memorial Day weekend? I said, I don't even know when the Memorial Day weekend is.
I did
Whereas
not realize that was
it's
what this weekend is.
that's what this weekend is. That's what happens when you are no longer in school and you no longer work in an office. Those are the places, and you don't have regular TV.
Nope.
Those are the three places that would give me a heads up on different things like daylight saving time and different holidays that are not Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the small holidays like, Veterans Day, 4th of July, well, not 4th of July because you know what day that's going to be, but
Mm.
like, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor's Day, those kind of holidays that are not Thanksgiving and Christmas or
Or Halloween.
Valentine's Day or Halloween. Those are the big ones that you know exactly what day they're on.
The big commercial holidays.
The other ones that are, that shift days or whatever, I forget about them.
Whoever thought it was a good idea to say that this holiday is just going to be the fourth Thursday of this month. Why?
Mhm.
Why would
I
you do
know.
this?
I know.
Because it's a different day. Why does it need to be on a Thursday? I don't understand. Why does it need to be? Why can't you just pick a day?
I know. I know. But so Memorial Day weekend, we need to clean off our list, and we did that so we can go into the weekend with clear minds and clear hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have watched this far, put a put an American flag
Sure.
in the comments. Put an American flag in the comments since this is Memorial Day weekend. Put an American flag in the comments and like, subscribe, smash that bell, all the things that the kids say.
And keep an eye out on the video channel. My sister Chloe has been working on editing these videos. So if you want to send the video to someone who and you're like, these people are hilarious, I need you to watch them. We're going to have just a regular condensed. She's going to edit out all of our ums, ahs, I got to go to the potties, and cut those out. So we've got a cute, concise little video. Maybe put some spoiler alerts up there for me
Don't
ranting
don't
about love.
don't play it up so much. Cause
Why?
then if it doesn't work out, then people are expecting something.
If it doesn't work out, then I'll backtrack. I have no problem doing that.
Okay. Well, let's get off of here so we can prepare for our weekend.
Yep.
I still gotta find clothes and be ready to leave the house
And I got to get ready
tomorrow.
for our market tomorrow.
So see, we have things to get ready for. But thank you for hanging with us. We appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Goodbye. I am almost done with another bandana. It looks pretty good. I used gray.